Hello. Welcome to the live stream. We're doing things. So, I'm doing another reading live stream today. Today has been so incredibly busy. I had a call interview with Medicaid this morning, and it always gives me so much anxiety because I'm like, oh, please don't take away my health insurance and my food things. So that was fun this morning. And then I took Riker to work. Riker went to work today. Yeah. So we off. Glitchy. Why glitchy? Why do that? That's very rude of you. YouTube. I mean, it wouldn't be one of our streams if we weren't doing that. It's stopped loading, so hopefully it's fine now. It's like when you put the CD in the player and the CD has been scratched. Of course, of course, of course. But anyways, how are you guys doing today? We're doing readings today, so if you guys are interested in a reading, I updated the website. The link is pinned at the top of chat, but here it is again. I'm thinking I'm going to do tarot readings and spirit guide readings, so if you guys are interested in either one of those, feel free to purchase any one of those. If you have a different idea for a reading, let me know and I'll make the listing for you. But I'm so excited. I finally caught you on my day off so I could purchase a reading. Glad I could be of service, if you will. We're just stressed about money, so we're doing another live stream. Just need to get to the first paycheck and then we should be fine, hopefully. But yeah, things have been rough. It's been stressful. So, if you guys are interested in a reading, it is pinned at the top of chat. We're doing tarot readings, spirit guide readings, or if you want me to do something else, let me know and I might make that happen for you. Otherwise, we can sit and hang out. You know what I mean? So, a couple new things that have been going on. My hair looks nice. Thanks. This is day 2 of curly hair. I washed it 2 days ago, which is like pretty good, right? But things that are new within our business that have happened in the last literally day or two, I've posted a lot on Patreon. So I'll also give you that link. Let me write this out. Hold on. Patreon. I added some new things. Everyone likes my hair. I appreciate it. It's very interesting because my hair didn't used to be this curly. And then I started using the products that Riker suggested I use. And oh my god, even my mother was like, what are you doing to your hair? It looks completely different. Because otherwise, I haven't really changed anything. Like, I don't dry it. It literally air dries. I wash it like a couple of times a week maybe, and I just use different products and it's amazing. So, okay, I'm not sure which you'd recommend, but I kind of want to find out about the destiny things and maybe a potential spirit around me. Is that a tarot reading or a spirit guide? Honestly, I don't know. Whichever one you want to do, I'm gonna be honest, because it'll fit into one of those. So, yeah, I would say if you want to do a spirit guide reading, I can read whatever person being you want me to talk to. Tarot, here you come. Okay, let's do that. I'm good with either one. But I'll talk to whoever you want me to and then give you a tarot reading. I have tarot cards here. Whichever you'd like, I will do it for you. because I know you've been wanting a reading for quite a while. But while you do that, let me tell you about our Patreon page. I have added things from a past investigation. It has taken me so long to do this, mostly because everything is stressful. But I'm going to try to focus more on adding in the bonus videos for our past investigations. So if you guys are interested in seeing any of our investigations uncut, so when you see the finished video, that's obviously edited. We cut out all the like dead space. We cut out all of our like talking and reflecting on all of that stuff. But we decided that it would be really cool to put that in an uncut series on our Patreon page. So it's exclusive content. You get every single one of our camera angles so you can see all of the equipment the entire time. You also get all of the like exclusive like nitpick like reflection type stuff that we have on both sides. So that's the stuff that we don't share publicly. It's the stuff that we have secrets about or whatever. I don't know. But I have 2 uncut videos that I got from Hinsdale House. We have the Ouija board session and then the Essus session that are completely uncut. And then we also did an after the investigation, which is truly all of our thoughts and feelings about it. In this one, we honestly talk a lot about weird stuff that was happening when we went to the Conjuring House too. So if you want our tea on that, fucking go watch that. But we have some bonus content in there. Bonus videos are for Leviathan tier or higher, but there are some other things lower for Hinsdale House that you can also click upon. But Damien. So I worked on that yesterday, and I'm working on a life update, which will be going live soon here as well. Do you have a specific question, or you just want me to like go tarot-wise? Let me know. And then we got Anitra. Hopefully that's how I say your name. Let's do this one. Oh, we got a spirit guide reading. What's up? Okay, Damien. Do you have a specific question? So I want to know what destiny is to be revealed and if there are timeline things happening. Okay, sounds good. I feel like things are starting to click for you. You're starting to realize things that you hadn't before. Hold on, let me pull some more cards. And I'll pull them up for you. So we have your first card. You have the Judgment card. I'll pull more, but... And then the second one will be about the spirit I'm feeling. Okay. So let's do the destiny thing first, and then I'll get into the spirit or whatever. Okay, so Judgment. Judgment in this case, I usually view this card as like reflection. But to me, they make me feel like it's more of a like revealing things behind the curtain type thing. Things are starting to become clear now. And the reason why I say that is because your other cards sort of hint on that. So you have the like Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is like some sort of creative spark. I feel like this is like some sort of like energy going through you, some sort of like change going through you, something that is like, I want to say enlightening you, but that sounds kind of cringy. And then we have a Four of Wands reversed, which is you're not feeling like you fit in very well. Things feel very unstable and weird. You have Knight of Pentacles, which is, it feels like things are not really moving forward. It's very, it's kind of like sitting outside of your space. It's kind of like hitting the gas and the brake at the same time. That's kind of the vibe that I'm feeling. It's like they're like telling you to take a pause and reflect, but at the same time, you feel like your mind is going 1,000 miles a minute and everything around you is reflecting that. The entity literally said I was receiving information like lightning. So Ace of Wands tracks. Princess, Page of Cups. Page of Cups is trust. This card is annoying to me. Just trust the universe. This is, you don't have a lot of experience with this, but you just need to trust that it's going to happen. You need to not think too much about it. Eight of Swords reversed. The walls are being taken down. You can walk through the cage door. The mask is being taken over your face. Prince of Wands or Knight of Wands reversed. Three of Wands reversed. Lots of reversed cards. Okay. This is kind of, I feel like, changing a lot of perspective things in your life. It's not just a, like, I don't know, destiny thing. It's kind of a kick in the ass. So what exactly is this destiny, though? So we have the this is Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands reversed. This is a feeling of being stuck, which is kind of like counterintuitive to this. So it makes me feel like it's a lot of blank page. To me, I don't know. They make me feel like the destiny thing happened. And when I say the destiny thing, the like decision for it already happened and things are just going to kind of fall into place. So with that card, it's kind of like you don't know what to do, but this is the moment to reflect and think about what it is you want to do, because there are going to be like the ability to take it how you want. Like the destiny thing is the decisions for it are happening now. The like flushing things out are happening now. But you feel very, very, very much like you're pushing and stopping at the same time. You have to decide if you want to change things, because I don't know, this is how I feel about it. I feel like a lot of the things that are going on in your life just don't make sense anymore. And you're starting to realize that they don't make sense anymore. And it's causing you to reevaluate what you want to do with your life. It's kind of like, it's kind of a feeling of, I didn't think I would get this far, for one, and for two, I didn't think I wanted to get this far. And they say it's as cynical as you can think about it, of like, I didn't think I was going to make it to life this long. So now that I'm here, I don't really know what to do. And on top of that, it was like I was living in this like numb state of mind for a while. And then something happened, the destiny thing, something happened. And now you can't go back to the like dissociated place. And that is a lot. So it feels like you're not moving at all because that's how you were before. But before you were also dissociated about it. So that's why you feel like you're moving really, really fast, but also like not moving at all. So now you have to figure out, who is this person? Who is this new person? You just like finally woke up. So Knight of Wands here is like, you need to be the like influential person. You need to be the like that fire energy. You need to be the like visionary type person. Hi, Alex. And the rest of these cards are in reverse. So it's very much a like, almost like a knee-jerk reaction, like nails on the chalkboard, because you're being asked to grow in ways you've never been asked to before. And it is uncomfortable as fuck. So we have the Three of Wands reversed. Three of Wands for me is usually some sort of expansion, but when it's in reverse, it's kind of like a holding back sort of mentality of like, the way I usually like to explain this, it's like you're looking outside this door. This door is open, and outside of the door, you see everything you possibly could want. But you're not sure if that is just real or not. You're not sure if that's a mirage or not. And you're afraid that if you walk through that door, the door is going to slam shut behind you and you can't go back to where you were. However, the thing that you're missing in this reading is you're already through the door. You already made the decision to walk through the door. You can't go back because you've already seen this stuff. But there is this huge hesitation of like trying not to get caught up in the tornado of change, because you're not sure what's happening. No, literally, I used to be isolated. I met someone and that shifted. I no longer can move the same way I could before. It's very much a feeling of, and this is kind of like probably extreme for me to say, it's like it's hard for you to like hate yourself, which is a lot, because I have felt that as well. It's like being in a relationship with Riker, I'm like, you make it very hard for me to be down on myself. You make it very hard for me to hate myself. You make it very hard for me to like blame myself or do all of these things. And if that's the case, and I'm actually like, someone is giving you your value back, and now that you have value, you're like, I don't know that I want to have value, because then someone could take it and ruin it again. And that's why this is happening, because the value is being triggered again. You are starting to like heal and understand that you are worthy of things, and it fucking sucks because it was just so much easier to just not care about anything and just live life like with your eyes covered. But that's usually just not how it works. And then we have two queens. Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords reversed. So a lot of like emotions. So lots of emotions, lots of like trying to avoid being true to ourselves. It's a lot of just this knee jerk, no, I can't do this. This is so like the opposite. Like other people in your life are probably, if they haven't already, they will, are probably looking at you and are like, you've changed so much. This isn't you. And it's because you just weren't really being you to begin with. You were just being this person that other people were comfortable with, and that wasn't really you. That was just a reflection of what everyone else wanted you to be. So now that you are coming into your own, you're starting to make huge changes, and people are just like, what? Who is this? Who are you? I just used to work myself away and isolate before, and it used to work. Then things happened, and then I try to do it again, and I can't do it. Yeah, no, it's literally like everything that you did before doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't make any sense. And when you try to do it, it doesn't make sense. And it is so frustrating because you can't turn your brain off and just do it anymore. Literally, my body will reject it if I forcibly can't do it. Yeah. Like, for me, I feel like I've gone through that. It fucking sucks. The universe, like, forces you into it. I'm trying to, like, pull this down, and it's on the other side of me. The universe forces you into it, literally, like, because I became not dissociated anymore. I started realizing all these people are treating me like shit. And then they just promptly left my life. And then all of these, like, job offers just don't feel like valuable to me because like now I have value and that doesn't make any sense. It's that stuff is happening to you. So I'm trying to figure out where to go from here because I'm in a liminal space. Yeah. No, I know what that means. Sorry, I'm looking at the cards I have before I put them away. 3 of Cups, Temperance, and 9 of Wands. Anxiety, 3 of Cups. People coming into your life, you not accepting yourself. Okay, let me put these back in here. What do we do with this? I don't think you're gonna like the answer. Because I feel like I know the answer. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles. They make me want to say this is a lot of like, you don't feel committed to things, but I mean, I want to say Ace of Pentacles is very like work related too. I feel like you are more work related before, and now work related things are anxiety inducing. And it's because you're not dissociated anymore. So you can't just like turn off your brain and just do it. There's a lot of healing that needs to go on with the 5 of Cups. Five of Cups, hard emotions, pain, loss, all of that, grief, pain, Five of Cups. This is going to be your focus for a very long time, because I feel like you are now like healing trauma that you have had since you were a child, because now you have a safe place to do that. So that's why the like dissociative blanket has been taken off of you, and now you're starting to make some realizations that kind of suck. And the more you do that, the more it will make sense of what you should do in the future. Because right now, they want me to explain it like this. There is a lot of times when people are in a lot of traumatic places where they come from a place, a lot of trauma, a lot of times they bury themselves in work, and working constantly is their safe haven, because if they're working, then it feels safe to them. Like there's always something that they can fix, manage, etc. And I used to be that person, and I am still that person, and I'm fighting that now because it's just, that's what the universe is asking me to do. And I feel like you have a little bit of the same with this Ace of Pentacles reversed, because the Ace of Pentacles reversed is literally going to pull you away from that. I feel like career things are going to kind of blow up in your face, and move towards things that are better for you, because right now those do not match how you see yourself. Yes, I'm a workaholic. Yeah, it was like when I was in college, I went for the jobs that allowed me to work like 12, 14-hour days. And I was like, I like working. It makes me feel better. I was called the overachiever. It's because I hid behind work. They are talking about that happening here. But because you're trying to open up your trauma more, you're being less dissociated, that's going to start falling out from underneath you. You're going to have to focus on these, which fucking suck, emotions. And then we have the Four of Wands here again. This is going to start creating this stability. I asked them about, this card was like in reverse and now it's upright. Why is it upright? And they're like, well, what you were doing before was not stable. It felt stable because it was familiar, but it wasn't actually stable at all. Because it was like, if any wrong move happened because of the like pressure you put on yourself, that pressure would like cause you to like implode, and that would cause like you to go into these like depressive states. Let me know if this is wrong, but this is what they're telling me. It's like something bad would happen and it would cause you to go into a depressive state, and a lot of times the depressive state would be there for a long period of time. So every time you became sad, it was like oh no, is it happening again? Are we going to be sad for months, years, whatever? That's where the instability came from. But now focusing on your emotions is going to create the stability that you've been looking for. But yeah, I get the feeling the universe is going to force you to do it. There's nothing really you need to do. It's just a like accepting that everything is just kind of going to change. So, and when I become sad again, I just want to work. Yep, exactly. Yeah, do you have any other questions about that? But they give me the vibe is that the universe is kind of going to direct that, because naturally those things just don't make sense for you anymore. While you answer, I can tell you what I pulled. So I have Ace of Cups reverse. So we're focusing on the self. That is your main focus, is the self. Oh, they also want me to say, because they're just like saying things that they've said to me. It's annoying, but I'm hearing it from your guides. So Ace of Cups reverse, your focus is the self. What they told me the other day is you're focusing on things that you think are practical, that make sense. those things aren't really going to work anymore. So you need to start focusing on the things that you feel really good about, that you would think that you need permission to do, but you don't need permission. You just need permission from yourself to do it. So the example that they gave me in explaining this to me is like, yeah, this makes money and this would help you like with your problems or whatever. But that's going to slowly stop making money because it's just not your passion. It doesn't fit well with you anymore. And because you have value now, it's just not going to work. So you should try doing these more experimental type things, right? That fit more with who you are and the value that you're creating now. And those things are going to work out a lot more for you. So that is what's going to start happening. So when you start going towards those things, so like in the example that I gave, if you started building like a new like revenue stream or whatever, that's not going to make money immediately, but that's where your brain is telling you to go, and you need to start trusting that. Whereas before, I feel like you trusted other people's voices and telling you like you should do this. Like they had your best interest in mind, but they also don't know you in your life. So they're like, you already know what you need to do, which is annoying spirit guide things. You need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on being selfish, which is also uncomfortable, which is so weird for me to say because selfish people probably would not agree with me, but you know. And then we have Page of Pentacles. Again, this is, you can't think about the like practicality of doing these things. You need to think about, how is it going to make me feel? You need to be like, feelings first. Is this going to make me feel good? No, we're not doing it. And Page of Pentacles reversed. Page of Pentacles reversed for me is usually a lot of times you have like all of these plans to do things, like so many detailed plans, but you can't get out of your head enough to actually do them. So the page, because they've never done X, Y, and Z before, and they think very practically, they want to know everything they can about it. So like they want to do it by the book. They want to know exactly how to do it most efficiently, but they can't get out of their head of like, well, I've never done this before. I'm not going to be the most efficient at doing this. There's going to be an X, Y, and Z logical reason why I shouldn't do this. That's why these two cards came out together, of like, you need to listen to yourself, even though that's going to be scary because it's not going to make logical sense to what you were doing before, because you're just listening and trusting the universe. It's disgusting, but you know, whatever. Three of Swords reversed, Heartbreak card reversed. We are, what do I want to say? Moving on, forgiving ourselves. We are releasing that heartbreak. They make me feel like it's very much not a romantic thing. This is a heartbreak of like, what is it? Rejecting yourself. They're like, it's very much a deep, deep rejection of yourself. You abandon yourself before other people can do it to you type thing. That's what they give me. We have the Devil reverse, which is kind of good. Devil reverse. We're trying to get away from those things those like attachment type things, those like addictions, those self-limiting beliefs. We're trying to get away from those so that we can be the Magician. This is the Magician card. The Starman, the Magician. And once this happens, then it literally can do whatever you want. So the Destiny thing happened. Something in your life changed your perspective. It literally like took the veil off of your eyes, and now you can see clearly for the first time, and it is horrible. It is horrible. But it's also the best thing that's ever happened to you. It's just, you were living in a state of, how do I want to say this on the internet? You were not living for you, you were living for other people. Makes sense? And then the being that I'm talking to, and I just want to ask you a question so I'm talking to the right person. Are they, the person you're talking about, are they more masculine presenting, but their gender is a very nuanced thing for them? They're more gender neutral. they say I'm perceiving them more masculine based on the way they look. Sorry. They feel very... They're like blue and yellow. They have... I don't know. He kind of talks... He talks a lot like... If you've ever watched Bashar, he kind of talks like that. A very, like, neutral way of speaking, but very matter-of-fact and quick. Yes, gender neutral. I saw them move more femme, but I keep bouncing back and forth. Yeah, the way they present to me is this kind of, like, translucent figure. But they're very, like, they almost look like a mannequin, almost. Or, like, more so I feel like an android type thing. Like, or, like, an alien type thing. But they, like, don't sway gender either side. They're just, like, neutral, also just don't care about that sort of thing. But they're very, like, matter-of-fact, and I feel like they are very devoid of, like, human ideology. Sorry, I pulled the moon. That's kind of the vibe I get, too. The moon card. That is a good explanation of this spirit. Like, are you a spirit guide? When I see them, to me, I was like, is this an angel? But I felt cosmic as fuck. Yes, that's a good example of it too. Because I was thinking about that as well. But it's more so, I would say like some sort of higher type angel being. The reason why I was going to say that is because, like, angels a lot of times have gender-neutral characteristics. At least in the, like, Bible and stuff like that, they're explained to not have gender because that's not important when you're in heaven. So they are entirely gender-neutral. We just, as human beings, assume gender because, you know, whatever. Grammar. He also made me feel like he is so high, like very elevated. Yes. Okay. So I feel like I'm talking to the same person. Yes. I feel like this person is very much going to make you feel more, what is the word? Like you fit in. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like you think so differently than other people that you think so much about things. Sorry, he, like, says a lot of things at once. How do I explain this? He speaks very claircognizantly, but also it's like he's talking to me at the same time, like, speaking words. So what he's explaining to me is you are a very good observer of the world, and you think about everything very logically and very thoroughly. And because of that, it makes you feel like you don't fit in with a lot of people, because a lot of people have this sort of mentality if they just want to go through the motions. So when you just go through the motions, you are suppressing all of this, like, thought in your head. You're just suppressing that so you can fit in with everyone else. But when you suppress that, it just makes you feel so incredibly alone. And he's like, the things inside of your head are more important than you actually realize. The people that you're surrounding yourself with that don't care are not the people that you should be surrounding yourself with. You will always forever be lonely surrounding yourself with those people. Does that make sense? But yeah, he's like, you're the type of person that has like 20 conversations going on in your head at every second of every day. And it's hard to just continue existing as a human being without numbing those voices, because you can't really do anything about it because other people don't think like that. They don't think that intensely about things. This does make sense. He told me that he was a guide. Oh, sorry. He was guiding and helping me because when I was doing past life things, I caught his attention. Interesting. Are you a spirit guide? I got like maybe, which just makes me feel like there's a technical term for it and it's not what I think. Hi, Kristen. Sorry, I just have questions for him. He deals with timelines and past lives, I believe. No, I can definitely see that. He just has this like he's very like high vibrational and he's very like otherworldly, if you will. I also heard the term watcher. Yeah, it's very much a like that sort of being like you're explaining. It's very he doesn't have a lot of like humanity. So there's not a lot of like emotions behind things. It's very neutral. It's very like knowledge based. And I feel like that is what you need with what's going on right now. Sorry, I'm talking to your other guides about stuff. You just have a lot of like, okay, I don't know. There's another spirit guide here that feels like a security blanket. Who also is shifty with gender, more feminine feeling. The feminine feeling is coming more from the like taking care of you type thing. I think that's where the emotions are like being taken care of. But he very much is a challenging like voice in your head. I feel like he's kind of like how Richard is for us. That is what you need in this scenario. Just a very, very neutral, matter-of-fact, logic form of thinking. That's why I was shocked to catch his attention. Like, I'm a grain of sand compared to his energy. Yeah, but I feel like your energy is similar to his. So it is like a collaboration, if you will. Yeah. Kristen, thank you so much. You will be, I believe, after Anitra if no one has purchased any readings. Yeah. That makes sense, I see. Do you have questions for him? Yeah, he's very interesting to talk to. I feel like he's one of those things that are also very easy for you to talk to, but it's also kind of overly profound. So you're like having an existential crisis every time you talk to him. That is how it feels talking to Lilith. Yes, you can ask 2 final questions. Of course, of course. I just need like a direction. I'm like, what else do I ask you? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I see him very, very clearly. I don't know what your like strong abilities are, but he is very claircognizant. I would say very visual because I can see him very, very clearly. Your other spirit guides aren't as visual as he is. I know that I don't know that he's a spirit guide. He is some sort of guide. I think he is a like spirit guide like Richard is for us. Of like, Richard isn't really a spirit guide, but we're going to tell you that he is, so. He said he was watching me during past lifetimes, but I don't think he stepped in, but more so watched. Is this true? And yes, he speaks directly. I might be thinking about this in the wrong way, but when you say watching you during your past lives, sorry, I'm gonna ask him about it. The thing that I'm getting caught up in is he just makes me feel like he can just look into your like, I want to say like your life book and read everything. So technically, yes, he was watching, but it didn't necessarily have to happen while it was happening. That's sort of the question that I was asking, but like, He can see everything just by talking to you and talking with you about it. But he says that's not what your question is. He's talking about, you're wondering if he had a, like, pull in any of your past lifetimes. And he says not necessarily directly. I love it when you guys draw people's spirit guides. Such good vibes. Right? Those are the funnest live streams. I don't know. He gives me the vibe that he gives me the vibe that you had a lot of decisions in your past lifetimes, and those decisions led to you living this life now, which directly led to meeting this guide. So that's why he was pulled into the picture and was able to see this decision being made, because it pulled him closer to you, and vice versa. But he says that he didn't directly have any say. He didn't, like, impose. He didn't, like, touch anything. It's kind of like you just had this, like, vibe connection to him and just got pulled in that direction. It was blurry for a second. Okay, I get it. So it's kind of like a manifestation, law of attraction type thing. It's like you asked and you received, but you didn't know directly what you were asking, and he didn't really have a say. It just sort of like magnets, red thread. That's what he made me feel. He observed but not handled. Yeah, it was literally like he was pulled into it to see what was going on, but he didn't have a hand in making that decision or changing anything. And then, do you have another question before I move on? Because I asked to move away and heal from the loss and grief from the past lifetimes. Sorry, pulling cards and asking him questions. Because I'm like, are you helping with healing? So I feel like there was a lot of fighting in your past lifetimes. I don't know if you, like, were fighting for other people. It made me feel like that's what you were doing. My last and final question is if this person is attached to this destiny. Are you talking about the guide, or are you talking about someone living? Is if this person is attached to this destiny. Person on the physical, the person, then boyfriend at the time. If this person is attached to this destiny. Okay. Sorry, I'm asking from different perspectives, because I can't necessarily tell you what the future holds. I can give you a path of least resistance. So first card that I pulled for you, you have the Eight of Swords reversed. So the keys are off the cage. You finally can, like, walk past. You're not being held down by things, and it's going to absolutely catapult you. It's going to change how you think about the world and remove all of your, like, self-limiting beliefs and finally create this spark in your life. Now, what you do with that is up to you, because there is just a lot of things are going to shift in your life. So the reason why I'm like all over the place with it is there's a lot of things coming into play. So I pulled 2 cards and asked basically how, what is it that they're actually asking? What is it that you're actually asking? So I have the Empress card in reverse and the 3 of Wands. So this is expansion, but this Empress card in reverse is kind of like, do I actually want to take that? Am I going to listen to this intuition? Am I going to be influenced by these emotions to be pulled away? What I'm getting from the cards is that there is a lot going on that is pulling you away from stuff that is no longer serving you. 8 of Cups. And the universe is literally changing around you. So there still needs to be a, like, Seven of Wands. There needs to be, like, resilience of, like, trying to protect the things that are important to you. If you continue to go down the path of seeing your value and understanding the things that you want, more likely they will stay. However, it depends on if you decide to move forward with these things. If you want to commit to that sort of thing. So once you realize the sun is meant for you, because right now you don't feel that way. They also make me feel like this is the energy of the other person. The sun card is it's very loud. Does that make sense? They're a little bit, I want to say they're a little bit opposite of you. There are things that make a lot of sense, but there are things that are the opposite, which is warming up your icy heart is what they want me to say. And it is removing a lot of those emotions. So it's still kind of up to you because you're in such a, like, pivotal space right now of, like, what you want to do. Yeah, what's weird is that he calls me his son. Naturally. Reflections, mirrors. Like the light of his life. Adorable. Yeah, he doesn't realize that's... Oh, your spirit guides are so corny. He's like... Your spirit guide is basically like, well... Of course the sun would recognize the reflection of their own light casting back at them, as if you are the moon. So, it's interesting. It's very that sort of vibe of, like... And it's not in a, like, twin flame way either. It's, like, in a puzzle piece way. Which, I think this is the soulmate person that we talked about before. Yeah. Yes, we're night and day. Yeah. So. What they want me to say about the reading I just gave you about them staying in your life is, I feel like both of you have this knee-jerk reaction of, I will give you everything in order for you to be happy. And that would include letting them leave or, like, abandoning yourself for them. So it is very much like, don't put each other on a pedestal because it will, I don't know, I think it will cause, like, some disruption. I don't think I'm explaining that correctly, though, or, like, not necessarily correctly, but enough. Because how they're explaining it to me is sometimes you get caught up in these, like, negative cognitions about yourself. So you worry that you're going to screw something up and hurt them. So in order to not hurt them, you are just going to leave and just going to, like, abandon ship. so that you avoid hurting them. Like, you would rather hurt you than to hurt them. And that is the knee-jerk reaction that they're talking about in this, like, spread of, like, trauma, knee-jerk reaction of, like, if you can accept yourself, that will allow you to walk through this life with them. I'm reading what you're putting down. Amazing, amazing. So, hopefully that gives you some direction, because I know you've been wanting a reading for a while, and it seems like a lot of things have been happening that have been absolutely existential crisis level. But let me know if you have any questions later on. But we're going to move on to Anitra. Wow. We got 2 spirit guide readings. Then we have some tarot card readings. So the order that I have here, I have Anitra, Kristen, it says Ko-Fi supporter, so Kristen, Colin, then Vicky. And we were doing paid readings today, so if you guys are interested, I think there are still some left. It is pinned at the top of chat, as well as here is the link. Thank you. Profound reading. No problem, no problem. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Okay, Anitra, are you here? And do you have a question? Oh wait, we're doing spirit guides. Are you here? Have I read your spirit guides before? Hi, I'm here. Have I read your spirit guides before? Because right now I get a red spirit guide who's female. I also feel like I think you read one of them. Well, let me know if this is the same one, if you can remember. I just like want to make sure I'm giving you new information. Hello, welcome in. But yeah, I feel a red female spirit guide. And I feel like she is very emotion feeling type based. Sorry, just talking to her about things. I feel like things are hard. So red spirit guides, I usually get colors for spirit guides, and I should probably give a disclaimer since we have a few spirit guide readings. So when I do spirit guide readings, every medium is different when they read guides. So for me, a lot of times they'll present in certain ways that gives me information. So they might not necessarily look like that. They might just be presenting to give me information. So if they present as a like character or like as one of my signs and symbols, it gives me information about, hey, this is why they're presenting this way. So one of my signs and symbols that spirits use is they will appear as a specific color. And that color determines like different ideas that I have. So it's one of my signs and symbols. So red spirit guides specifically deal with like feeling safe and secure. So when you don't feel safe and secure, you have a red spirit guide come in and they help you feel that way. They help you feel safe and secure. We are doing paid readings today. So if you are interested in a paid reading, I have a link available there at the top of chat. Thank you, Jada. But yeah, red spirit guide, female presenting. She is very emotionally fueled. I feel this intense, like almost like you need like a hug. Almost like, you know how like when your dog gets really anxious, you put like a vest on it to like regulate their body. I feel like you need a lot of regulation. Like things are really, really hard and stressful. They make me feel like it's more on the emotion side versus the like stressing about like day-to-day things. There is like some sort of, I don't know if it's worry about another person. There's just this deep, deep grief, pain like feeling. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, makes sense. So she's been helping you try to regulate your body in that sort of sense. hold on. Let me see. Are you new? I feel like not new. I feel like, no, not really. I feel like high school time, like on the edge of like, what is that? What is that called? Like junior high and high school. On the edge of that is when she came forward. I feel like you were dealing with a lot of like feeling like you were abandoned type things or losing people. So I feel like she helps a lot with that sort of thing. Let me use these other cards. I use tarot cards to sort of like help figure out what else I should ask them, if I'm being so honest. Okay, they're talking about what do we do about these emotions? How do we help regulate ourselves? There's a lot of like needing to listen to our intuition and trusting, and that is just not happening because the things in our life are just not, we don't feel supported physically. Exactly. Yeah, I was going through it bad around that time. Yeah, I feel like she like faded in through that time. That's why I'm like, in this sort of range, there was like a big shift in school. And it was like teenage years, because that's also when I struggled. But I feel like right now, you're trying to like feel grounded and okay, but the ground is not there. That's what she's talking about. So she's trying to make you feel grounded when everything in your life is just, it just doesn't feel safe. Like you don't feel safe. And I don't mean a like someone's gonna like beat you up type thing. You feel like at any moment something bad is gonna happen, but you can't put your finger on what it is. There's just this like very, very deep sadness because I feel like a lot of things in your life, like the rug got pulled out from underneath you. I do feel like it is about a person, though. I don't know if it's a loss of a person. There's just this horrible grief. And the horrible grief is just making you question your reality, which is why the ground's not there. Does that make sense to you? She speaks very emotionally fueled. So a lot of it is clairsentient feelings, which I also feel like she talks to you that way. With a lot of like, you get the sense, you just get this gut feeling. She also helps with the like regulation of your body, possibly my boyfriend. Yeah, there's just this deep-seated grief, pain of like abandonment, loss. Something to do with another person. But there's just this need for regulation. Do you have any questions for her? So I also feel like I could give you another spirit guide. Because I also have a yellow spirit guide here who's masculine. Yellow usually deals with emotional intelligence. I feel like a lot of the emotions right now aren't really like, they're not things that you think through. It's like, it's like your body is just feeling it. It's like a nervous system dysregulation. And your body is making you believe things that aren't necessarily happening, which is why we don't feel great. So they want me to say a lot of that is like past trauma that's being triggered. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions? But that's why I feel like this red spirit guide is coming forward. The yellow male spirit guide, he helps more with the like logical running through things in your mind. But the reason why I bring him up is I feel like how you feel in your body doesn't really match how your like logical thinking brain is working. Like, you know, things are like how they are. How does she help me through the teenage phase? Okay. Sorry, I'm cleaning up all the cards on the table. And triggering Siri, I guess. Like, stop listening to me. Okay, so teenage years phase. Okay, can you tell me if someone you lost during that time, like someone died? And if not, that's fine. I just need, like, I just get this, like, horrible feeling, and I just need to know if that's true or not. Otherwise, I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know. That's usually the time where there's a lot of pressure in making friends and stuff like that. And not necessarily making friends, but maintaining friendships. There's a lot of, like, help with that. My paternal grandfather passed in 2012. Yeah, I just feel like when that happened, there was just, like, this deep state of, like, dissociation. I don't know that it was necessarily related. The thing that they told me, the reason why I brought it up was it was, like, one of the first times that you dealt with death that you, like, had more of an understanding of it. And watching it happen kind of, like, affected you in ways that don't really, like, come out as related. I don't know how to explain this. The reason why I'm asking this is because they told me something similar happened to me. So I've dealt with death prior to that. I had my grandfather die when I was like 11 years old, and I've had deaths prior to that. I have a very big family, and I'm like on the end of a generation, so a lot of people in my family have died. But when I was 11 and my grandfather died, it was the first time someone that close died in my direction, and my reaction to it was not, I would say, it didn't seem like it related. So a lot of things in school life, like I focused more on school, I focused more towards that direction. I focused, like, things in my life just sort of changed at that time. And it wasn't necessarily because of that death, but it is something that marked it. It is something that is notable of, like, this is a crazy change. This is me starting to realize how the world actually works. And I feel like a lot of things in your life right then and there also was making these huge shifts. It could have been someone that I was dealing with at the time really made me feel really numb to my environment, isolated. That was during my teenage years. Got you. Okay. Let me just pull cards and I'll tell you what the cards tell me with it. So during this period of time, I feel like there was, how do I explain this? You started feeling like you weren't, I don't know, they want me to say it's like your eyes started opening and things just started turning for the worse. There was like this deep state of dissociation, like I said before. It was this feeling like you were less than. And I feel like you were this person that had a lot of, like, I don't know, like you had a lot of emotions and you felt almost like you were too much. You were like overly trusting, and that sort of like pushed you off of feeling good and safe about things, and it made your world turn kind of like upside down. It made you feel like you didn't know where to go. It made you feel like you were different in some way, but you couldn't like really suppress the emotions as well as you once thought. They make me feel like it was just so intense. And there are different like levels of dissociation, in my opinion. I'm not a therapist or anything in that regard, but dealing with dissociation myself, it was I feel like in this case, what they're showing me, it was very, I want to say like back and forth. So there were days where it was like very, very, very intense, and that intensity would cause the dissociation. Whereas when I was a similar age, my dissociation was like fully, like, it's like I didn't remember anything that happened during the day. But for you, I feel like there's a lot of emotions that came in, which is why you have this spirit guide that is very emotionally fueled, that is helping with those types of things. It's kind of like a equal and opposite reaction. So like you have these intense emotions, and she was the one that sort of tried to like oppose them and neutralize them. So it was like that equal and opposite like reaction to like help calm things down. But it helped to I dissociated myself with my friends at that time, and I was dealing with this person. Yeah, do you have questions about that time? Because I feel how she helps you then was similar to how she helps you now. Of like trying to like not necessarily numb that pain, but like regulate it. And she makes me feel like she's talking about like giving into the emotions instead of like holding them so tight in your like throat. It felt like you like couldn't speak about them. I just felt like I was existing physically but not emotionally. Yeah, that makes sense. Disassociation, truly, it fucking sucks. Yeah, the cards that I'm pulling for you, there's a lot of twos. Which for me is very much like you don't know what to do or where to go. It was just like a suffocating feeling, like you were just stuck. You experienced a lot of loss, and she tried to help you rejuvenate that. I feel like you experienced more loss prior to that, and then things started coming forward. But yeah, I get a tightness in my throat when I cry so hard. Usually, when I get that feeling, a lot of times it feels like you can't speak. People like to say, I have a block in my throat chakra. I don't necessarily think it's that, but it is a like feeling like it's your body's way of amplifying or explaining or feeling the fact that you feel silenced, or you feel like you can't be yourself, or you can't express yourself. So that's why I was like, that's the kind of feeling that I get from this. Yeah, I feel like this person took away a lot of your light. So I feel like you distracted yourself with hobbies. I feel they just keep pulling this card for you, which is the Page of Cups. It's just like someone that's very emotionally fueled, but they're kind of a little bit naive about it. They haven't really gone through life long enough to have the experience of dealing with like these toxic people or understanding. It's kind of like this free spirit, if you will, like someone that's very trusting. And I feel like that trust has been broken several times in your life. Does she also associate it to the stuff I've been through with my mom at all? Interesting. Would you say that your mom And this might just be me. Let me see. Would you say that your mom is like very loud about her emotions? Or like, if she has opinions about it, she is very direct, even if it is in a way hurtful? The reason why I ask is I feel like whoever you're having issues with in school, not really in my opinion. Oh, okay. Okay, let me read cards for you on that then. And I will tell you what the cards say. Because if that's the case, I am not getting anything about that. Okay. So we have the King of Cups. That is like very like emotionally like compassionate. Usually King of Cups is like very calm, regulated, wise King of Cups. But at the same time, there is still this feeling of being lonely with the Three of Cups reversed. So there is this like amount of like emotional like stability in a way with this King of Cups. But the Three of Cups reversed is like a lonely feeling. Queen of Swords is your next card, which is like being unapologetically yourself. But sometimes this can be a bit loud with the truth aspect of things. It can be very loud in your face about, this is who I am, I'm not going to change. And then you have Six of Cups reversed, which a lot of times is like childhood trauma. I do feel that loneliness a lot, even though I do have people in my life. The childhood trauma, I feel like we have the Hangman in reverse. Your life was sort of flipped upside down. There was a lot of perspectives that you learned at a very young age. I feel like you were one of those people that, they want me to say you were a child at heart, but had to grow up quickly. I still feel like you maintain that childlike mentality, but there's still just kind of like being rough around the edges. Hi Pyro, how's it going? There's been a lot of childhood trauma. Yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of loneliness as well. A lot of feeling like you're not understood. I feel like an outsider, but I feel like it's more of a like, no one really sees the emotions. They just see the like shallow. Like I feel like you want to be like very deep and connected with people, but they are just a little bit too far away for that. And you have the World in reverse. So with my yellow spirit guide, when did he step in? Let's see if I can answer that for you. He has a very logical state of mind. I feel like he came in more so, I feel like he came in more so when we were trying to figure out life path type things. So to me, that is more so a like figuring out career type things. I feel like a lot of your, the way that you want to be fulfilled is like more so tied to things that are like emotionally strengthening you. Sorry, I'm pausing because I have pulled some cards for you that are telling me otherwise. So we have the Ace of Pentacles and then the Six of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles reverse is giving me a lot of like commitment issues to things. Ace of Pentacles reverse, usually Ace of Pentacles deals with like those types of career type things. And I feel like there is a lot of like a disharmony or a lack of balance in regards to those like work type things. Because there is a lot of like pouring from an empty cup. So I feel like that is what he sort of helps with, is like showing you your inner strength in not giving more than what you need to. Because I feel like you like are kind of like an overachiever and you overdo everything to compensate for these like worried thoughts that you're not enough. Does that make sense? That's what he's talking about. When did he come in? I feel like he came in after this red spirit guide. Speaking more so when, like, early adulthood. But yeah, he's very much talking about, like, there's just this disconnect with like what you want to be doing versus what you are doing, because the people pleaser in you overdoes things because in insecurities that are a little bit telling you like you need to give more and more and more and more and more. So do you have any final questions before I move on to Kristen? And Kristen, do you have a spirit guide you want to talk to? I've read so many of your spirit guides. I feel like I could talk to your like pink and red one. That's one of yours, right? That I've told you about, the pink and red female guide. How will I be able to figure no, it's them with me being an overthinker? Okay. So it's different for each spirit guide, but I feel like for your orange spirit guide, their voice stands out more because it's more of a like logical way of thinking. Your female spirit guide, every time I talk to her, feels this like she feels like a vibrating heated blanket. So it's like that warm and fuzzy feeling. That is her, but I feel like that one's going to be more hard for you to realize because I feel like her energy is more similar to yours, where this yellow spirit guide is more kind of on the outside. They're more trying to challenge you versus this red spirit guide is more trying to comfort you. Does that make sense? I also do want to say with spirit guides, just in general, not from a like mediumship standpoint, you can also ask or request signs and symbols from them. So also make sure you like use your discernment with it as well, because like if you ask for something like simple of like, I don't know, rainbows is my sign and symbol, but if you ask for rainbows and it's like June or whatever, like Pride Month, and you go on TikTok and you just see rainbows everywhere, that's probably not a sign and symbol for you. but like use your discernment of that. So a lot of times that's how I figure out my spirit guides' names too. Is I will ask them. I was like, give me a sign and symbol so I know what your name is. So they will do things like that. Like I'll just randomly get a like weird names for babies, even though I never said to anyone or out loud that I was asking for my spirit guide's name. Things like that. So if you need more of a like physical sign and symbol, you can always ask for that. But thank you so much for purchasing a reading. I hope things resonated, made sense. But we're going to move on to Kristen. Kristen says, hi, I'm still here. I would like to speak with my red pink guide. Amazing. Could she give me any advice on how I should go about my friendship with my friend Meg? Oh, this will be fun. Okay, I'm gonna pull cards for this because, yes. Is this person someone that you're very, very close with? The reason I say that, we have Two of Cups that came out. Two of Cups is, I usually view this as my marriage card. It is a committed relationship. That is like connection to the highest in the deck. So there is a lot of like connection. There's a lot of fun, love, whatever, but there is a lack of fulfillment with this card in reverse and a lot of confusion. So with the Ace of Swords reverse, there's a lot of confusion. This card reverse is usually like something's clouded, something's not really true. Maybe there's like some deception going on. Yes, I feel very close to her and I love her very much. There's something wrong. There's like this gut feeling of just something's wrong. Something doesn't seem right. The Ace of Swords a lot of times can be like a little bit deceiving. Sword cards are, when they're in reverse, could be a little bit of deception. And we have the King of Swords here, which is kind of like a knowing or a clarity about that. Let me pull some more. Your pink spirit guide makes me feel like I don't know. She gives me this feeling of like going back and forth about the relationship. Is that true? Which is probably kind of like how it goes with your question. I'm trying not to be like super general about things, but I just feel this, like, I feel the friendship that you have with this person, but there's just like some confusing things going on. There is maybe some deception going on, but there is this like resilience walking through life. I feel like there's a lot of change that has gone on with you and that other person. Literally, you've been through the ringer with Meg. I see what you mean. There's like this like tug of like it goes back and forth. Of like you don't want to lose them. But there's something wrong, okay? What is wrong? Yes, there has been some back and forth between us regarding the friendship and between the ethics. Four of Swords. Okay. Okay, I feel like this relationship was typically very like emotional, very like emotionally connected. It like helped you, what's the word I want to say? Like, she helped you emotionally, you helped her emotionally. There was just like understanding, and it was very emotionally connected. Right now, there's a lot of like, almost like a coldness, like with factual type things. You're getting just a lot of sword cards. Sword cards are cold. It's kind of like, I like to say, sword cards represent truth, and truth is hard to deal with. But this Queen of Cups came out sideways. This is where the emotions of the relationship are coming forward. There is a lot of emotional connection, and you guys just kind of make sense together. But there's just this coldness that is coming to be an issue. The coldness. There's a lot of like self-limiting beliefs that are being released on both sides. So I feel like there's a lot of change going on for you and a lot of change going on for her. And that change is creating expansion like this in opposite directions. Does that mean you're actually going to split? Not necessarily. Let me pull cards about that. But the overall vibe is you have a deep, deep emotional connection with this person. But there's these, like, a coldness with, like, what's factual, what's true, like, who's right. Seven of Pentacles, sideways. You're trying to determine if this is good for you long term. King of Wands, Two of Wands. You're at a crossroads trying to figure out what to do. The crossroads is not just with her, it is with your life as well. Four of Wands, everything in your life is unstable, so this is going to take a lot of effort. I don't think what's causing this issue is a, like, detrimental thing. I mean, it can be if you guys take it that way. It's just, like, things are really going on in each other's life that you are not seeing eye to eye on. Yes, I don't want to ever have to let go, but I also want to make her happy. Yeah, because what they're giving me is a lot of, like, there's change for both of you, but neither of you are really involved in the change. So that is causing you to grow in opposite directions. And it's not necessarily the relationship itself that is becoming sour. It is other things that are causing each other's mindset to become sour. So, like, this is an example. This is not what's happening necessarily, but, like, maybe this other person's having, like, a hard time at work and, like, taking it out on you, that sort of thing. So it's not really about you. It's just, I'm dealing with things that you don't understand. That is where it's going. That's where it's kind of going sour. It's not a, like, the connection is, like, breaking. There is noise going around, and you guys can decide that that's going to break things, or if you can, like, shift through the noise, filter out the noise. Your pink spirit guide makes me feel like you're very, very, very anxious about this. I feel like you've lost a lot of people, which you have told me, but there's an amount of, like, you're worried more so about her than you are about yourself in this situation. She does have to work a lot, and I think that is very overwhelming for her, and I just want to help her with the stress of that. That's so relatable in my life right now, too. How interesting. Okay, so your pink spirit guide talks about how, you are very worried about what's going on with her, but you feel like, she's not really telling you everything. And that's where the, like, coldness is coming from. You can tell that she is upset and not okay about things. Is she also one that isn't... How do I want to explain this? I feel like the way she wants to explain is that it's like, you're an open book. You will, like, say anything, even if it's just like word vomit. You will just say it, get it out, even if it's not perfect. But for her, she's more constrained. She more like thinks about what she's going to say before she says it, and because she thinks about it, it spirals into her head and then turns into something else, and then she becomes confused about like how she actually feels, how this actually presents. Is this actually what's making you feel this way? Like, does that make sense? That's kind of the like the relationship that I'm getting. I can be wrong. Please let me know. But because there's so much going on with her, she, I feel like, is like kind of shutting off her brain and just working through it. So it's not a like dig towards you. Okay, interesting. She can be flighty at times. Yes, that's true. I tend to pour my heart out, and she's more constricted. The way they're explaining it to me is she's not trying to be. It's kind of like when you ask someone, "Are you okay?" and you know that they're not okay. But they say like, "No, I'm fine." In this case, how they're explaining it to me, she's not necessarily lying to you about that. It's just in this sense, she's been not okay for a really long time. And right now, at this exact moment, she's not overwhelmed by that. Does that make sense? And I feel like you're the type of person that, like, can look right through someone and be like, no, I can see it. Like, you see through it, and it has been, like, a core connection in your relationship. Because I feel like she's very good at listening and helping you think through your thoughts, and you're very good at, like, pulling those emotions out and being a safe space for her to, like, talk about them. But that's what they're talking about. That's what this spirit guide's talking about. Do you have questions about it? Because right now, I don't think there's, like, a clear direction about, like, I don't think it's going to fall apart necessarily, unless that's what you want to happen. I feel like there is just a lot of noise on the outside of your relationship that is impacting the relationship. I can also do, like, what do we do about this? That's a good thing to do. Okay. Yes, when I met her, she changed my life, and I just don't want to lose the connection. Yeah, in my opinion, based on the cards, there's usually a very clear indication of, like, this is going to fall apart. I'm not getting that. So hopefully that, like, helps you. Helps you calm your nerves a little bit. But it is just it's going to be slow. So we have King of Pentacles reverse. Don't try to control things. Don't do things. They only say don't do things because you feel like you have to do things. It's going to be a lot of, like, slowness. I say that because we have the Eight of Wands reverse. It's going to take time. And lots of Pentacle cards here. Pentacles are much slower. Seven of Pentacles is looking towards the future and planning that and trying to figure out, like, where to go from here. Two of Wands is like a fork in the road, if you will. Yes. Knight of Pentacles, slow. It's going to be a process. Yeah, I don't know. Let me ask this question. What card is this? Hold on. This deck is very weird to me. The Hermit. Sorry, the reason why I was looking it up, I have the Alien card. I didn't know what the Alien card was. It's the Hermit card. Okay, so the question I was asking is, do you try to talk with them about stuff? And the vibe that I'm getting with this is, I feel like it's more of, like, internal work. So Hermit is like introspective. It's something that you need to do yourself. Nine of Swords deals with a lot of anxiety surrounding it, and there's a lot of like change going on with you. So you're trying to get your priorities straight right now. Her favorite card is the Hermit. That's adorable. King of Swords. Okay. Questions. What should we do about this? The Chariot. What is she going to do about this? This one. Ten of Swords. Trauma. How do we come together? Okay, I feel like your relationship is going to change. I say my reaction is the Tower card to that last question. There's a lot going on. There needs to be a lot of patience and understanding with what's going on. I have other things. Yeah, they just keep making me feel like there needs to be a lot of inner work done on your end as well, which is not even connected to her. Because you have a lot going on as well. Just so much noise going on around both of you. Okay. I pulled the Four of Cups. So, the vibe I'm getting is it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I feel like there needs to be a lot of healing on both sides. So what do you do about this situation? I feel like there needs to be a lot of like inner work of looking at yourself. So it just keeps saying, look inwards, like Ace of Cups, self-love, look inwards, Eight of Wands, slow down and reflect. Nine of Wands, release, wait, this is Nine of Wands. Give in. Don't continue to fight on things. And then you need to decide where you want to go from here. These cards just keep coming out. And then we have the Four of Cups, which is like, there's going to be another option. But I feel like a lot of the stuff that's going on right now, you're both dealing with it individually. So I feel like what's going to help the relationship is for you to like focus on self-healing. So focus on self-healing, looking into like, why do you feel these certain ways? Where is the disconnection happening? Is that feeding into any of my insecurities? Where are these insecurities coming in? Because I feel like there is like a disconnection, and the way you're talking or the way that you guys are expressing each other, like expressing yourselves, is just not on the same page. Could you please ask my spirit guide how I can better regulate my emotions regarding the friendship? Sure. Hold on, I just like mixed my cards in wrong. Backwards. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So, spirit guide. What are we asking? Better regulate my emotions regarding the friendship. Okay. Is there a particular thing that you're fighting about? Or is there a fight? I feel like there might be something that you're not seeing eye to eye on, and that's what they keep talking about. You have Ten of Wands, which is like you're carrying a lot of burden and you need to like offload something. And I feel this like there's something that's causing this feeling of disconnection. We have Three of Swords reversed. You feel like rejected in some way. And then Ace of Pentacles reversed. They make me feel like you don't know what it is that happened. Yeah. There's some sort of fight going on. And Five of Wands is like competitive. So it's like, no, I'm right, versus them being like, no, I'm right. No, there's not a fight per se. It's more of just a fear of being abandoned. Okay. Let's ask about that. Why are we worried about that? Page of Wands. It's like we're starting a whole new world. Seven of Wands. We have gone through hell and back. Five of Swords. We have had to fight through thick and thin. And you're describing them as being the spark. What do we do emotionally about this? Maybe the fight isn't with myself. Yeah. Yeah, like I've been saying within a lot of these readings, I feel like there's a lot of insecurities that are going on that are kind of getting in the way of perception of the relationship, which is why every time I pull cards, there's just this like focus inward, look inward. There's just this insecurity. So we have the Magician card reversed. Sorry, I'm getting a message from my mother. But there's just this like disconnection of like distrust in ourselves. Like we don't have the resources to deal with this. Sorry, they're telling me things about that. Page of Swords, Queen of Swords. I feel like there's a lot of lack of support in your life right now, and that has been very difficult. And the person that you normally look for in support is also struggling, and that's kind of where the issue is lying. And it's going to cause problems if there isn't an amount of give and take. Does that make sense? Is that why the relationship's being strained? I have to text my mom. Give me a second. Okay. I have to pick up groceries today. I'm very excited to pick up groceries today. But I'm just letting my mom know that where I'm going to be. Yeah. So the reason why I say there's a lack of support is with that card that I showed you, the Starman or the Magician card. This card is usually having all of the resources and like talents laid out in front of you in order to deal with something. I feel like you're lacking a lot of this right now. And I usually do not read this card as lack. I feel this like intense feeling like you need support from someone, but the person that you want support from can't fully give it to you because they can't support themselves either in this case. I guess confusion is just that in the beginning, a year ago, there seemed to be like there was a close connection and now not so much. But I don't know how much of that is me or just her being overwhelmed. Yeah, from your reading, what I've gotten is that it's not necessarily about the connection, it is about what's going on in each other's worlds. So that's why they keep saying you need to focus inward and focus on getting that support that isn't reliant on another person. So that tells me that there needs to be an amount of like not putting all of your value into another person. So it's not necessarily a dependency, I don't think. Not a therapist, I don't know the correct terms for these types of things. But it is this just feeling of like, if they're not there, I can't stand on my own 2 feet. And it's a like value towards other people instead of a value in yourself. So with the readings that I keep getting is it's like, we feel like we're lacking support. We need support from somewhere. We can't do this. It's too overwhelming. So they're like, you need to get some support. You need to get some healing from somewhere in order to be able to like push through these things. Because what you're dealing with is so much worse than like most people have to deal with. But at the same time, I feel like it's bad timing because I also feel like this other person is dealing with things that are not related to you, but also like very painful. So that's why there is this like weird like distance. That's what they make me feel like. That is what a reading says. Do you have any other questions before I move on to Colin? I definitely feel a lack of love and support. I also don't have friends, which is very difficult for me. Yeah, that card very much was like painful. It was very like there's just no one, there's nothing. I just feel you feel like you're in a free fall. Let's call it that. And it sucks. I remember doing your reading last week, was it? When we did live readings. And the feelings that they were feeling was I have felt that before, and it is fucking terrible. It's literally like your body is just stuck in a fear response. And it's just hard to get out of. Like, how do you make your body not do that? It sucks. But thank you so much for the reading. We're gonna move on to Colin. Colin, are you still here? We're doing a tarot reading. Do you have questions? Okay, would love guidance from my spirit guides about big life change. A big life change. I will probably ask you again about that when your reading is up. So, the order that I have right now, we just did Kristen, so we have Colin, and then we have Vicky with a tarot reading, and then Anne with a tarot reading. No question. Just want to see what comes out. Amazing. I know you had told me that you had tea, but I don't know that you want to do the tea in like a live stream. So we'll see what's going on. But tarot reading for Colin. I don't want to use this deck anymore. I'm sick of seeing the cards over and over again. We're going to use this deck. It may come out. We'll see. Amazing. Okay. Dropped a card over there. Okay. There is something I wanted to do. Just need to move my keyboard. Okay. I'm putting your cards in a spread. So, what we got going on. I feel like a lot has changed. You also told me that, so we got going on. The reason I say that, starting with the World card sideways. The World card usually deals with fulfillment. It's usually fulfillment and completing cycles, but when it's sideways, a lot of times it's like trying to decide what's worth it. What is going to make us feel fulfilled. We don't feel fully fulfilled now, but there's kind of some confusion. So that's going to be like the topic of what's going on here. I have two cards that are crossing currently. We'll start with your bottom card, which is this Heartbreak card. Again, I've explained the Heartbreak card, the Three of Swords before. It doesn't necessarily need to deal with romantic things, but it can. And I feel like it is being blocked by this Ace of Wands. So this is something that you're struggling with. So there is this like lack of being able to forgive or move on from that. And I feel like it is creating a lot of these like creative blocks. So Ace of Wands is usually like some sort of spark of creativity. This is the spark. I think I remember talking to you about that. Did we talk to you and tell you that it's like you lost your spark? Because that is the thing that we've been struggling with. I feel like there might be some new, Ace of Pentacles could be like new jobs, new physical things coming into your life. Something new that is kind of neutral, but there's just this kind of back and forth of like, is this worth it? Are we good? Should we continue doing this? And then Page of Swords on the other side. Pages are still kind of learning things. Page of Swords is usually like some sort of like coming to clarity, some sort of like knowledge seeking. It's something that's very positive, but it's very like we're trying to figure out some things. There's a lot of like new information coming out. And that new information is creating a lot of like confusion about what we should be doing. What is important to us? Where is this coming from? That sort of vibe. Let me check my shop for a second here. I didn't think I was going to sell this many. That's crazy. I don't know if I have time to do all of these, but we'll see how it goes. But we got Kiki Star. You're going to be after Anne? I feel like I should sell those out. We'll see how it goes. Okay. We also have the Six of Pentacles, which isn't this like balance of like how things are going. You're kind of pouring yourself into things too much. Sorry, I'm pulling some cards to try to get more information. So, this reading, how I feel it's going, is what you were expecting kind of didn't happen. That's where I'm getting with this World card. And that is causing a lot of change in your life, and you're really not sure what to do about it. We have Ace of Pentacles, which is like usually very positive, some sort of opportunity going on in your life, but it's neutral because you're like, yeah, it's there, but I don't know if I like want that. I don't know if I like need that. I don't think it's really important because you're getting so much clarity that you don't know what to do with. Page of Swords. We have clarity, we have knowledge, we don't necessarily know what we're doing with that. A lot of times this card could also be a little bit of like all talk, no action type things. It's very positive though. It's something that's very good for you. But it is creating a lot of like confusion. You're getting clarity and it's causing confusion about what you do with this clarity. And I feel like it is directly associated to like heartbreak, deep emotional pain, rejection of self, and in regards to like getting your spark back. Because this card is blocking the ability to heal from this, of like kind of allowing this to happen. Because I feel like whatever this clarity is, it's kind of not fun. It's good for you, not fun. Why are we doing that? Live chat? Okay. Sorry, my chat was not matching what I was getting. So, now I have your thing coming through. It definitely makes sense. Not to go into great detail, but I moved and I was 100% the right decision. But there is still an old relationship lingering that needs to be cut off. That probably goes into like where you're putting too much of your energy. Six of Pentacles is pouring from an empty cup. When it's sideways like that, it's give and take. So if things are not balanced, it feels one-sided. And it's going to take a lot of inner strength to get through that. I do feel a little lost at times, even though I made the leap to move away. Now my struggle is going out, finding new friends, doing things for myself. We can read on that. Let's do it. What do we do now? What is important now? Oh, I think... Give me a second. This deck also has weird card names. Major Arcana 20. Your judgment. I haven't read with this deck in a while, so it's discernment. This is the judgment card. Anyways, let me pull more cards. Queen of Pentacles. The universe is giving you what you need. That doesn't really help because we're lacking that reflection. We're lacking that judgment. I feel like you are becoming a new person, and it is very starkly different than what's going on. It's very starkly different than who you were before. We have the Three of Pentacles, which is like more of a collaboration. So maybe you'll get more friends from like a work type place or like something where you are like working together on things. Ace of Cups is going to be a lot of focus inwards, which is not fun, but it is an option, I guess you could say. And you're right, that relationship pops inside my head occasionally and causes confusion, sometimes sadness and anger. This could also be the end of a relationship. I usually view this as like focusing on the self. Ace of Cups can be like a new love, a new passion, but when it's in reverse, a lot of times it's inwards. It is self-love. Let's do things for ourselves for the first time. And then Page of Cups is learning how to trust again. Lots of water, lots of change. My God. Tower card reversed. We're trying to avoid it, but it's going to happen. And then we have the Two of Cups reversed, which again could indicate that loss of a relationship. Both of these are relation cups in reverse, which is usually the lack of it, but I also read it as focusing inward, focusing on ourselves, self-love. Focus on what you want to do. Nothing else matters, really. Which is kind of crazy, but also, you know. Give me something profound, maybe. The Hermit. The Moon. Do you have questions? They're just kind of adding you. Recovering from loss, Five of Pentacles. Trying to rebuild ourselves. Trying to look at our repressed emotions, at the illusions of things. There's a lot of, like, cleanup. What is more important? What else do we need to know? Because I feel like we know this already. Seven of Pentacles. How are we going to rebuild things? How do we want to rebuild? Okay. Oh. Lots of fives. Okay. I did just join a new gym. It's been a long time since I was at a gym, let alone a collaborative gym like you just mentioned. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a lot more less uncomfortable than just walking up to someone. There like needs to be a reason. There's like some sort of collaboration. That's how I felt. But how do we rebuild? We have the Seven of Pentacles, so that's going to be rebuilding things back up. We have the Sun card, so it's kind of like being the new person in a new place. I mean, you are. You get to build it up how you want. The world is your oyster. However, I don't know if that's how that saying goes. But you have these two fives, which is a little bit stressful. So the first five is the Five of Swords. This card is a bit cold and rough. This is usually like fighting a lot of the truth sides of things. This card is not by any means nice. I feel like both of these cards came out how they came out for a reason. The Five of Cups is like deep, painful emotions. Fives are usually unstable. Five of Cups, unstable emotions. This card is in reverse, though. So it's a lot of like forgiveness and letting those things go, letting go of the emotional pain. And I feel like that might happen with the like inevitable fighting with truth that's going to come out. There's going to be a lot of like realization. It's going to be kind of painful and kind of conflict-esque, but we're going to start trying to fight for ourselves and our truth. And that is going to help rebuild our emotions. It's going to help stabilize things and allow us to forgive ourselves for things that we blamed ourselves for in the past. Because I feel like you may have taken a lot of blame in that relationship, which is that's what this is kind of telling me. And now that you're farther away from that, you can see more of how that is not true. So it's going to be very much a fight of truth, of like, this is me. You can't change that. I am not the reason. I'm not to blame. It's not my fault, etc., etc. I know I need to do things for myself and get back to the way I was, say, 5 years ago. But being an introvert makes relationship building very difficult. Dude, I fucking get that. I remember telling you, because I was feeling the same thing when we did a reading together, of like, I felt like you lost your spark and that you were focusing on trying to go back to who you were, but you could never do that because now you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So it's going to be rebuilding from a new place of value that you have gotten from leaving. Oh, I always felt like I took the blame. I just looked the other way and told myself I was overreacting. Yeah, you're the problem. That is what this Five of Swords was telling me. Is like, there's a lot of fighting, but a lot of the stuff they're saying isn't true. You now have the truth. It's not really as... It's not what they say, not at all. But you're trying to convince yourself of their stories, being gaslit by them, maybe. Death card reversed. Is that coming or happened? Coming. There's gonna be a lot of like kind of deaths and losses. It's very just kind of like cleanup. You're like finishing the purge. I feel like you've gotten done with a lot of the like hard stuff. Like everything else is just kind of like cleaning up the rest of it. Like just finishing off. I'm sure they're also telling others I was the problem now that we are very far apart and we were a year or so ago. Yeah. I could say this could look like a smear campaign. This is a brutal card to have. And it gives me very much the vibe of like some sort of conflict is going to make it very clear who's right and who's wrong. And it's going to help you forgive yourself and release some of these hard emotions. So take that with what it is. I agree. I think the hard part was moving away and making the decision for myself. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of things are still going to change in your life, but I feel like it's not really going to be that big of a deal. There's going to be a lot of change. You're not really sure what those changes are, but we're more excited because it's more, constructive. And we have the Five of Pentacles reversed, which is very positive. This is the third five that I've pulled for you. This is usually unstable resources, finance, that sort of thing. That's going to be starting to like rejuvenate with that being reversed. It's all good things. It's all good things. Do you have questions? Yeah. I kind of think you're in a state of like, well, what do I do now? I have a lot of options. And that's kind of the problem. That's why we have the Seven of Cups here. Of like, I could do anything now. And that's not a bad thing to have. So, you're a little bit running around in the dark. Knight of Swords. You're not really sure what you should be doing. Because what you thought you were doing is not this. This is very different. There's so many things I want to do. It's deciding what to do. Yeah. With the cards that I'm pulling, it's very much a like, it really doesn't matter. It's just not going to be what you were doing before, and you know that. And that's like the key. That's why we're finishing. Like the important things right now is finishing, getting rid of all of that other shit. That is the focus. Get rid of that shit, and it's going to help you figure out what you're going to do because you're not going to accept the BS anymore. So, And also getting comfortable with doing the things I struggle with, as in going out, talking to people, making new friends, so on and so on. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like those are things that are going to help you build things up. You need to do it in the way that is like fits with you. Like, you are the leader now. You don't have to have someone else dictate what you should be doing. But definitely with your spread, collaboration is going to help you meet new people here. So like starting new hobbies and going to like those places that do hobby things. I'm sure there's like a community place or whatever. Riker and I are looking into finding a place that does D&D type stuff. There's also like a place that does like tarot card meetings. Not really sure what that is, but we need friends. So, but you're building up things slowly. It feels good. It's good. Kristen, I see your comment. I'll answer you in a minute. No problems. I'll pull a few cards for your question. Do they have a suggestion of where to start? Is it friendship or more so self-improvement, something else? Three of Swords came out. That's going to be purging that. That needs to be taken care of first. But I think you know that. There's a place down the street from me that does D&D nights and a couple other games. They also make me feel like once you start... Sorry, pulling cards. Once you start doing anything, it's going to make you feel so much better that it will guide you to do everything else. So you have the Seeker, which is the Fool card. This is jumping head first in. It's like taking a risk. Not knowing what's going to really happen. It's going to cause a lot of change in your life. And you get to be the writer of this new story. But the first thing that needs to happen is fully purging the rest. Because it's going to negatively affect you until it's fully cut and gone. So you're putting all of your energy in that. Six of Pentacles is pouring from an empty cup. You need to get rid of this heartbreak person. Purge the rest of that. And then you have a lot of options. And they make me feel like it doesn't really matter what you do. Because what they're explaining to me is they're talking about this one story I saw on TikTok or whatever, where they were talking about like this man lost their job and was like going through a very, very hard time because they couldn't get another job in their field. They like weren't getting out of the house. So they just like kept going into this like spiral of despair. And even though they couldn't get like a job in their field right away, they ended up starting coaching like tennis. And they didn't really make a lot of money doing it. It was just like a passion project. Just doing that lifted up their mental health so much that they were able to get a new job in their field within the next 2 weeks, within the month. So it's kind of like that. Once you do one good thing, it will feel so good. And it will tell you exactly what you need to do next. So the hardest part is going to be removing all of the bullshit and then working through the anxiety of like, what did those insecurities from this bullshit cause me to be so scared and like actually doing stuff for myself? Because once you purge the rest, and that's not just getting rid of this person, that is also getting rid of the voice inside your head that they used to give to you. Don't allow them to give you insecurities. Don't allow them to like fuel this like overthinking BS in your head. And that's going to allow you to take the first step. So that's why we had the Seeker card, the Fool card coming out. That first step will allow everything else to come with it. Does that make sense? Do you have any other questions before I move on to Hold on, I have to pull up my thing. Makes complete sense. I hope that that's a relief, because it feels like a relief. Like, that reading that felt great. You know what I'm saying? My chats seem not to be sending. If you are using anything like mental health, spell it funny, because we blocked that. So that might be why we're having issues. So if there's like a sensitive word that you can think of, spell it with like a number or something. My other messages was I felt like just joining a gym was super helpful. I don't know why that didn't come through. I did see a message about you talking about going to the gym, and I was collaborative, but exactly. Like, it's literally the hardest part is just going to be getting over the, like, emotional toxicity from your past situations. Because once that is, like, out of the picture, and I feel like how it's going to, like, kind of play is going to be a little bit of a, like, fight. The more the fight goes on, the more it will show you how toxic it was. So, it'll make it even easier. Even though it's something so small, it is so helpful. I know what you mean. Maybe it was physical. Potentially. I don't think I'm blocking that word. That's weird. That might be a YouTube thing. Because I know, like, some people, like, try to say, like, mental health, and I'm like, oh, this is the time where I would like you to, like, respond mental health things. Also, hi, Riker. Riker's at work. I told people that you were at work. But not where you work. You know. Details. But yeah, do you have any other questions before I move on to Vicky? Vicky, you're next. Dude, I'm starving today. We don't have any food. We're going grocery shopping after I pick up Riker from work. And I am so excited. If you're listening to this, Riker, we should make cookies. Do we have everything to make cookies? I'm now excited to move on to other things. I think the gym was step one. Now to get rid of the old relationship and keep going. Yeah. Exactly. Truly, truly. We don't need that shit anymore. Thank you so much. This gave me a lot of hope for the rest of the year. I'm glad it resonated. I can't wait for food. I'm currently eating Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its. Also, yes to cookies. Oh, we have all of the ingredients. We've been talking about making peanut butter cookies for the last couple weeks. We just, like, eat them so fast, but they're so good. And then I can make muffins, too. We make protein muffins. You guys saw I made them in the one really long live stream that we did. I made muffins, protein muffins. Riker found the recipe. Vicky, are you here, and do you have a question for your tarot reading? If not, we can just do something general. Let me know. Vicky. Also, I appreciate everyone purchasing readings. I was honestly surprised so many people bought readings. I'm like, crazy. This is amazing. Prosperity, right? Hi, I'm here. I'm just looking for a general reading. Amazing. Let's do it. Okay. Let's do the same thing we did with Colin. We'll pull some cards and we'll put them in a spread for you. I'm also getting sick of this deck now. Here we go. Gotta go back to work now. Talk to you later. No problem. Thank you. Truly, truly. Dude, I'm so hungry. I've been starving, I think, for the last week. Ugh. Wanna go to Petitti's? Yes. Not petites. That's not the word I was using. Okay, I pulled cards for you. Breaker, are you still here? Do you want to go to dinner with my parents? My parents might buy food for us. It'd probably be around 6. Free food? Yes? Yeah, okay. I don't know why I said petites. Who am I? We're going to an Italian restaurant, and it's not petites. Okay. Works for me. Dude, I'm fucking here for it. We don't have to make food. Well, extra spice. Okay, Vicky, I pull cards for you. Let me take a look. I put them in a spread. It gives me a little bit more information. Okay. I'm gonna just go ham. So we're gonna start with your first card. You have the Devil card. The Devil card, usually it talks about a lot of insecurity type stuff, like self-limiting beliefs, like restrictive type of thinking. And I feel like it also deals a little bit with the Hierophant card in reverse. It feels a lot of like not fitting in. The Hierophant usually deals with like traditional things of like, this is how things are supposed to be. But the Hierophant is in reverse. So it is a lack of that. And we have this just like back and forth. This card is a little bit more positive than the other ones. It's very like... I don't know if we have like, we feel different somehow. We feel like we don't fit in. We feel like we don't like how, I don't know. There's just like this feeling like we don't fit in with other people, like we're weird or something. And we're having a lot of insecurities of being less than or being not what we're supposed to be. Like we're not following this like set of rules. The Hierophant card, it really, like, how I explain it to people is it deals with traditions. So it deals with like how things are supposed to be done. And I say supposed to because it can be, the example I use is like society has a traditional way of running. You go to school, you get a job, you get married, you have children, you settle down. It goes in a very specific way and at very specific ages. And if you don't do that, something's wrong with you. These two cards are giving that vibe of like, it just feels like something's like off. Like I'm not doing something right. And that's creating a lot of insecurities for you. Like this is getting in your head about it. Yes, that's my Capricorn love. Oh, a Capricorn? Love a Capricorn. I don't even know why I'm an Aries. I feel like I scare Capricorns, but one of my friends that I went to her wedding, she's a Capricorn. Anyways, so we have the Strength card. Next card, we have the Strength card sideways. The Strength card, when it's sideways, it usually represents like bringing... Sorry, they're telling me about it. You have this like male spirit guide. He's like, I want to say rotund and round. He kind of looks like a turtle, like a very big turtle. Like that's probably like 3 feet, shell. But they're talking about, I feel like there is this like outer shell that you have, to protect the like inside of you, like the emotions. Turtle, sorry. I'm a Sag sun and the rest are all Capricorn too. Oh, you're a rock, my guy. That makes sense, I guess, huh? We're very stressed out about everything. Capricorns make everything their job. It doesn't even matter if it's a career or not. It would be for a Capricorn. Anyways, I feel like you have this very hard exterior shell. And I feel like it takes a lot of energy to hold that up. And it takes a toll on you. Very much. I'm the shoulder to cry on. Capricorn, fucking earth signs. People go to you for advice all the fucking time. And you give it to them and they're like, maybe even offended by it because it's so like profound. fucking Capricorns. Anyways, but this strength card is something you're struggling with a lot. It's very exhausting to have to like be this strong for everyone else. It's just not, it's not working for you. It's really, really taking a toll. I'm also chronically ill. I have MS. I'm very blunt. Capricorns, you're literally an earth sign. And also the Capricorns are a little bit cold when they give you advice. But you know they're fucking right. They're fucking earth sign. I'm sorry. King of Wands. The King of Wands is more positive. Just a lot of back and forth. So I should clarify. These first two cards are kind of like the topic. This is what we're talking about in this spread. So we got through the strength card of like, everything feels so heavy. It's just so much we can't deal with it. And then we have the King of Wands here. That is like, the King of Wands is usually like a visionary. They're usually like the leader of like some creative project. They usually like, that is the vibe. They're very like fiery energy towards that. But with it being sideways, there is this like worry to like control it, or there's this worry that we're not really that good at doing it. Usually with masculine cards, you get a lot of the control aspect when it goes sideways reverse. And control in the way of like kind of controlling the situation, controlling the narrative instead of leading it. And I feel like it's because people just don't trust a lot of the things that you say. But according to this reading, I feel like they fucking should. Because we got the King of Wands here. The king is the one that knows what's going on. And this card is something very positive. This card, I feel like, came forward because it's very, like, I know what's happening. Like, I am certain I know what's happening. But it was just a little bit weird. It's a little bit off. So they, like, second guess you. And that second guessing you causes you to second guess yourself. Of, like, that's where these insecurities and self-limiting beliefs come in. Of, like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe they have more experience than me. Maybe that's true. But they just never thought about it that way. You just don't think the same way as all those people. And that's just not working for you. Whatever this is about, I feel like you deal with this a lot, though. I don't think it's just related to a situation. I feel like it's a lot of like, well, this is happening. Like, why? Obviously. And people are like, well, no, you're like just not seeing the whole picture, or like they misunderstand you, and it just feels so confusing and lonely. That is also my boyfriend. He's crazy smart and is doing so much good. He's my caretaker and my soulmate. He's the only thing I'm certain of right now. Oh, adorable. That's perfect. But yeah, the vibe I'm getting is very much a like, you know what you're doing, but it's different than what other people are expecting. And it's just kind of like holding you back. So next few cards, you have two cards that cross. Let's start with your bottom card. You have the Tower in reverse. This is usually avoidance of some sort of chaos. This usually is avoidance of some sort of big change, but it's being blocked by the Sun card. I don't think this is a bad change. It's just kind of a neutral change. It's in the middle here. And then we have the Sun card that's blocking that. The Sun card, I like to use that like phrase from The Lion King of everything the light touches is yours. With the Sun card here being sideways, there is this worry that we're not worthy enough for the Sun. We're not worthy of all of that. And that goes again back into these insecurities. We're not worthy of those things, which is why it's not changing. Sorry, just like smacked the mic. That's why these things aren't changing. Because I feel like this change, it's not good or bad. It's just kind of something that needs to happen. There needs to be some big change going on in your life because it's just, the things are just not working. You're just like, it's kind of like you're in the wrong place. Like, you are experiencing so much, like, resistance from the universe. Because most people tell you just have to, like, hierophant things of, you just need to, like, grit your teeth and, like, just push past it. hard work equals success. No, it doesn't. That's what the universe is trying to tell you. A lot of times, like, spiritual people, they, like, talk about how you find your path, or the thing that you're, like law of attraction, manifestation, that sort of, like, woo-woo stuff. The way that you, like, find that is to go towards the path of least restriction. Figuring that out is a lot easier said than done, if I want to be honest, because that's what I've been being told lately as well. But I feel like every time you try to do something, you butt heads. And it doesn't even need to be with people, just the universe in general. And it's because you're trying to do everything like everyone else. It's not working. So whatever your, like, little heart says, okay, let's try this. Do it. That goes into this card here. We got the Two of Pentacles. We're trying to reprioritize ourselves, our life. It's sideways because it's a decision or action. The sideways cards usually represent some sort of, like, back and forth. Two of Pentacles is, I like to explain it as you're, like, juggling. When it's sideways like that, you are juggling a lot more than you need to. You're juggling balls that are a lot heavier than the rest of them. You don't need to juggle those. You can just, like, drop them off to the side. We don't need that. We need to prioritize the things that are actually worth our energy. This card is very positive. It's something that's going to be very good for you. I feel like it's going to open up some, like, opportunities and close opportunities you don't want. So that's why we have this Ace of Pentacles reverse, because this card is positive. It's over on my right-hand side. It's positive. And I feel like there's just going to be, like, one door is going to close and a new door is going to open, but it's a very much trust the process, because it's not going to make a lot of, like, sense to other people is what I want to say. Sense to other people. It's just gonna make sense with you. So the last card I have here, you have the Two of Cups sideways. The Two of Cups usually deals with relationships. I don't think this is the relationship with your boyfriend necessarily. I think this is a relationship with other people, how it is relating to you. Because when this card is sideways, a lot of times I get, like, relationship cards sideways, and it is, how is the relationships with other people impacting or being internalized into yourself? So a lot of that, I feel like you feel almost like you need to take care of other people, like you need to return the favor, like you need to be strong for them. And I know your boyfriend is your caretaker, and you might need, like, have a lot of, like, accessibility things that you need. But you still feel this, like, unbelievable stress to take care of those people. Hence the, like, strength card, the outer shell holding people up. But that's where this is, like, gonna come into play. I feel like once we stop just settling and dealing with the, like, crap that's being dealt to us and start doing the things that are just even a slightly bit better, that's going to help you. That's going to help you internally, and it's then going to reflect in your relationships. I am struggling with leaving the house and seeing people. I feel misunderstood and judged. Yes, I do. Yes. So how this spread is reading, what they want me to explain is, I've been watching videos about Bashar for, like, Woo Woo Wednesday. So if you know who that is, it's this man that, like channels, like, an alien. It's for Woo Woo Wednesday, but he talks about something that I think is, like, that my spirit guides particularly are telling me I need to do. But when you are met with restriction, a lot of times there is a reason for that. So when we hit a wall, generally that means something needs to change. So that's where this Tower card is coming up with the sun blocking it. There is something that needs to change. However, logically, the society wants us to continue just pushing and working really, really hard. even though that's not the like path to success. What Bashar usually talks about, which I think is really powerful, is going towards something with the least resistance. So if you had the decision right now, go towards the thing that is just a little bit better. Like if you had a choice of doing the hard thing that you've been doing all of this time versus something that may not make logical sense but makes you feel more passionate about it, don't think about how it's going to like make you successful or benefit something unrelated. That will come later. If it's meant to be, the universe will push it forward, going with the path of least resistance. It's going to help you. Like, there is a resistance for a reason. We just need to evaluate, why is this resistance happening? How can I get through or around it? I like listening to Bashar talk. It's interesting. Yeah, I've been watching a lot more channelers, which has been interesting. Bashar, I don't agree with everything he says, but there are things that I'm like, no, that makes sense. But that's kind of what I'm getting for your reading. Do you have questions before I move on to Anne? Which I know you told me some sort of big life change, Anne. Before Vicky. Oh, right. I should look for your, like, little thing. Kiki and would love some guidance from my spirit guides about big life changes. Okay. So, Vicky, did I have any other spirit guides come forward at all? I like kind of want to call him a rock guide. He looks kind of like a Pokemon, like a rock Pokemon. He's very cute. I feel like he was with you since you were like a child, like a baby. He's like huge. But he's got more like rock vibes, like a Pokemon. But I feel like that outer shell helps with stability. It's literally like how I explained it. It's very, very simple. First spirit guides usually have that like simplicity to them because you don't have a lot of the complexity of like being a human yet. I think it's my mom's dad. He died before I was born. Always felt him with me. Oh, it's so cute. He died before I was born. Hold on. Mom's dad. Was he going gray? I feel like at the start of he was going gray. Did he have like thick glasses? You can tell me I'm wrong. I don't normally do the mediumship side of things. I just like to know. I always felt like he helped me from falling on my ass. I keep his picture with me always. Interesting. That's so cute. Sorry. Turtle guide. He's gray. Cause I keep asking him a color because I usually get colors for spirit guides. He's gray. Gray for me usually deals with like some sort of like dissociation almost. It's kind of like a fuzziness. He died pretty young, like 50s. Did he go gray early? Because he like makes me feel like he has like brown hair, like darker brown hair, and like just like the edges are turning gray. Does that make sense? And did he have glasses? No glasses, but he was gray. Okay. Maybe I'm not talking to him then. Yeah. Do you have any other questions for your spirit guide or for your mom's dad? I keep his picture with me always. No glasses, but he was gray. He died pretty young, like 50s. Yep. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know 50, I mean, I'm going gray now. I mean, you can't really tell because of, you know, but I do have gray hair and I'm not 50. I'm 13. He might have worn them, just not in pictures. Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like most people probably have glasses. I don't know. If he has glasses, let me know, but if this is the right person that I'm talking to, he's like thinner built. I would say he's tall but not very tall. He just says he's tall because I'm short. I think tall is like over 6 foot. So I feel like he's more closer to 6 foot or a little bit under that. I feel like he is very like how he wants to like an Aquarius mindset. That's what he's telling me. Like he's a bit of an oddball, kind of like a little bit nerdy, but very, very warm, and he has like very interesting conversations. Lol, he's like 5'11". Yeah, because I told him, I was like, you're tall. I could say you're tall. And he was like, I'm not that tall. And I'm like, you're taller than me. And he was like, you're short. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's why I said it like that, too. But he has this like big teddy bear type energy, but he's a little bit dorky. Like he's interested in like really niche type things. Is that true? And I feel like, because I'm like, you're kind of like my dad. My dad is like that. My dad's an Aquarius, which is why I'm saying that. But he's like a little bit more reserved. So he's not as like, my dad will literally walk up to a stranger and act like they've been friends since they were 2 years old. I feel like he's a little bit less gonna do that to a stranger. He is more reserved, but he is not fully introverted and like painfully shy. You know what I mean? He adopted my mom when she was a baby and spoiled her rotten. She always said he wouldn't have done the same to me. He would have done the same to me. Sorry. I'm an Aquarius. I'm not surprised, honestly. My dad's an Aquarius. My dad and my sister is an Aquarius. They have very niche things that they do. Like my sister is a glass blower and my dad is an engineer. So, and very like niche engineer. Okay, you are Vicky. Okay. Very warm and kind. That's adorable. He is a very sweet energy. This might be, I'm like, if you're helping me with mediumship things, I'll give you more mediumship information. Is there like something that he left you that was like a toy for you when you were a kid? Like a stuffed animal or something? I could be wrong. That's why I'm asking. Because I'm like, I don't normally do mediumship stuff, but I am interested to know. Because I've talked to him since I was little. Because he shows me my cousin got a bear from my grandfather, and he called him, like, called the little bear Grandpa Bear. He died when my brother was 2 and I was born 5 years later. Got you. Just wondering. Mediumship side is kind of weird for me, so that's why I'm like, But I can feel like his personality and I can see him. I was just wondering. But thank you so much for purchasing or reading. I hope things like resonated, but that's so sweet. Love that. Your spirit guide is also really cute. But I think we're going to move on to Anne. I just have a wallet-sized picture in a frame that has moved into every house I've ever lived. adorable, like truly adorable. Thank you. No problem. No, thank you. Okay, Anne, I see you. I'm pregnant with my second and nervous about this transition. Just curious what guidance and insight come up for this next chapter. Okay, amazing. And then after Anne, I have Kiki. Kiki will be probably the last person. I need to take these off because I need to leave at 3:30. Is this all of them? Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second. Oh. Kiki is me. Okay, cool, cool. You will be after Anne, so you'll be my last one. I just need to take the stock out of here so I can make sure I can pick up Breaker. Anyways, I thought I talked too much. Payments and orders. Okay. Okay, Anne. Also, I should probably ask, Anne, are you here? I know it was a while when you gave me that. I just want to make sure you are here and listening. Oh, yes. Thank you, Kristen. While I wait for Anne, I will answer your question. Thank you for reminding me. I got distracted in between Colin and Vicky. Should I give Meg the journals that I have written about her and the connection, or should I just wait to give them to her until later? Okay. I'll pull a card for you about it. I feel like it might help. Because egotistically, I would be, like, nervous about that, but I feel like it might help. The reason why I say that, I have cards pulled out. I have 10 of Pentacles, which is, like a family card. It's like, she'll understand. High Priestess is, like, listening to her intuition about it. Like, you know the answer. Ace of Pentacles literally looks like it's giving her something. And King of Cups is very much emotionally stable, inner strength, the strength reversed. I think it will help, like, get you guys on the same page. That is what I get for the cards. Yeah. Thank you for telling me. I totally spaced. My brain was like, okay, this is the next thing I need to do. Thank you for reminding me. Because I was definitely planning on answering you. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, great. Aeon. So, I'm pregnant with my second child and nervous about this transition. Just curious what guidance and insights come up for this next chapter. So, interesting. Thank you. It pretty much confesses my love to her. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. From what I pulled for you, it makes me feel like it's going to help reignite, it's going to help you start talking to her about what's going on. Yeah. So, there's a lot of, like, where you're coming from, what's going on, how you feel about things, looking inwards. So, I think from your reading, intuition-wise, I feel like it might be a good thing to do. In my opinion. So, Anne, I did have a card fall out prior, right before I talked to Kristen. That was the World card, and I think that was, like, something very powerful and impactful. The World card is usually a fulfillment. It's going to be amazing. You're nervous, but it's going to be, like, more than you could ever imagine. And it's crazy, because this, as you said, is your second one. Do you know gender? You can also tell me you don't want me to tell you that or talk about it. I just worry that I'm going to, like, ask the wrong question or say the wrong thing, so we could keep it gender neutral if you would like. But, oh, they're starting my grocery order. I'm very excited. I'm gonna do the same thing. I've been feeling the, like, spreads. See ya, Jada. Pyro saying goodbye to you, so I'm hoping that's from somewhere. But anyways, and hope you're grocery shopping and all of the cookies. I'm going to bounce. Oh, maybe you're saying bye to Jada. Sorry, I was very confused. Not yet. You can tell me the gender. Okay, that's a lot of pressure. I don't know if I can actually do that. I just feel... I don't know. Do you have a son now? I could be so wrong. I just feel this, like, deep connection with this child that you've never had before. And it's crazy to me because I'm like, you have one. I'm like, that feeling is probably... I don't know what the feeling is, but I'm sure I really just need babies. I have baby fever. I want a puppy. I want a baby. I want all of it. But they're like... You had this sensationalized feeling the first time, and the second time is going to be even better. There's just going to be like a clicking into place sort of feeling. That is the immediate response I get. And I don't know, I could be wrong about gender. Sometimes I'm wrong about it, you know? But I just have this like idea that it might be that. So anyways, I got 2 cards for you. These cards are crossing, so they block one another. King of Pentacles and Ace of Pentacles. No, but I think they'll be a boy. I could be wrong. I can't predict the future. It's fine. I don't know. I see like a little boy with dark hair and I could be wrong. So I'm just going to keep saying that because I have insecurities about it. I just feel like this baby is going to be like someone you recognize the second you like meet eyes. And with your first, it was sensational, but it wasn't that connection. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad, it's not like a better or worse. It's just going to catch you off guard because you're thinking that it's going to be something you already know, but I feel like it's going to be so different. But King of Pentacles is like stability. This is like feeling of groundedness. And this Ace of Pentacles is kind of blocking it and getting in the way. It's kind of like, where is the opportunity? Ace of Pentacles is some sort of like financial, or it could be like, what is it that I want to say? Like a physical opportunity. Usually it's career based. Usually it's life path based. But there is this amount of stability that is being blocked by this opportunity. And I feel like that this opportunity is probably the pregnancy itself, since we're talking about that. It's kind of flipping your world upside down. Does that make sense? So I feel like there was more stability before it happened, and then now there's kind of like anxiety, which I know you said that you're nervous about it, but I feel like life in your, like, what's going on in your life right now is a little bit flipped upside down. Everything's flipped upside down because of this opportunity. And you're kind of like wishy-washy. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Am I like getting excited for nothing? Like, it's kind of like wishy-washy. Does that make sense? But you don't feel as stable with this one as you did the first. Or you don't feel as stable as you did before it happened. There's just, this opportunity is very scary. That is the like vibe of what's going on. It's not a bad spread. It's very good. It's very introspective, if you will. So next card, you have the Hermit card. The Hermit card is sideways, representing a decision or action. This card is something you're going to struggle with. I feel like you're going to go on a very deep interpersonal journey. I kind of want to pull a card and see if it's going to be before or after, because I feel like this is leading up to it. Yeah, okay. I feel like you're going to go on this like journey. Hermit card usually deals with very like deep interpersonal stuff. And it is very like what is the word I want to use? Introspective. That's the Hermit card. It's sideways because it feels very, very, very lonely. It feels like no one understands what you're going through. It feels like a lot of pressure, and I feel like it's fueling a lot of the uncertainty. They make me feel like it's a little insecurity of, am I good enough? Is this enough? It's like that idea of enough, but you're going to go on some sort of like very spiritual journey, if you will, with understanding yourself. Hermit card is literally looking in ourselves, like inwards, and finding our light again. So I feel like this pregnancy might have been a bit difficult. You might have gone through like some like depression through it. There's been a lot of like just kind of like up and down roller coaster vibes. And that is creating a lot of like, is it me? Am I the problem? So we're moving on to the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is sideways. It's something positive. But the Eight of Cups is usually abandoning plans to do something better. I don't know what it is that's making you nervous, but I feel like, I don't know if it's a person or what, but I just feel like that needs to be like left behind. This is a decision to make. You can continue moving on the path with it or without it. It's something very positive because I feel like the pressures of what's going on now is going to cause you to make a decision of leaving something that's making you uncomfortable. Money is a worry, and I'm working less because of my pregnancy. Okay, makes sense. That makes sense too with the like Ace of Pentacles financial aspect. This Eight of Cups is a little bit in the way. But it's something positive. A lot of the like pressure that's going on is going to cause you to leave something that's kind of just uncomfortable. This card is positive. I also think this card needed to be positive because the context of what we're talking about. But Eight of Cups is leaving something that's no longer serving you to find something that does. This is still a decision because we're not sure. We're back and forth on it. That's going to be determined on how you feel about it with going through like the Hermit card of like refinding your light, refinding your value. Is it important for me to make these changes? Next two cards, we have two cards that are touching and crossing, so they block one another. You feel very lonely and you feel kind of like you're doing it all. Three of Pentacles reversed. Not great. It's like working alone. You feel like everything is on top of you. And you feel like you need to learn all of these new things. And they told me it's pre-birth. I can do a few cards afterwards and see how that goes. But Eight of Pentacles is like learning some new skill. It's like a mastery of something. It's sideways because there is like kind of a lack of commitment with it. But with these two cards together, it gives, everyone's putting so much pressure on you and you feel like you're doing it alone. Like it wasn't like this in the first time. This is a lot of pressure and you feel so alone. This is just what the spread keeps talking about is you feel alone. You feel alone. You need someone to step up for you. Because you feel so much pressure and you feel so alone. Your last card in this spread, I'll pull more cards after this. We have the Tower card. This card is crazy. It is literally chaotic change. It's positive in this spread. It's something very good. I think this is when it happens. It's like all of this stress will be worth it. But it is going to cause a lot of change afterwards. Like the Tower card has a lot of energy. The Tower card is literally like, let's not even like passively change things. Let's absolutely blow it up. The reason why I say this is positive is where it is in this spread. So anything on my right-hand side is more positive. That is the furthest on the right-hand side. And that just gives me labor and delivery right there. So that gives me a lot of like, that is very positive. Let's do this. So, yeah. I think the grocery shopping is going very well because Alexander has not told me about anything that they haven't had yet. Yes, I feel like I'm doing the most things to maintain my family's day to day. Yeah, and I don't even think anyone sees it. Like, what I mean by that is they don't see how much you're struggling. And that's kind of the issue. Because I don't feel like you're the type of person that's going to ask for help because you feel like you can do... God, I just said that now. They're out of stock of something. Fortunately, we're out of sun chips. Sure. I'm getting different sun chips. Anyways, sorry, distractions. You jinxed yourself, right? It's fine. But I feel like people are missing it because you are putting on such a hard exterior. You're being so strong. You are not one to ask for help, and that's kind of where the issue is. So I'm going to pull a few cards for after. Do you have any questions while I do that? Okay. Judgment reversed. I feel like the after is going to be very emotional. Very emotional. I feel like postpartum is going to be a lot of releasing trauma. Understood. That's how you responded to me. Sorry, I have so many things going on today. Yeah, so the cards I have, I think this is Desertion. This is the Judgment card. They just named it funny. The Judgment card is in reverse. So I usually view this card as a reflection. When it's in reverse, we are viewing our mask. So the mask has been on for so long, and I feel like it's going to be forcibly taken off because of this Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is usually very emotional. It's usually very free-spirited. They give me the vibe that this is going to be the child. There's just gonna be this like inherent like feeling of like just this openness. I don't know how to explain this. When talking to like baby type energies, it's very like profound feelings. But yeah, I feel like you're gonna be very closed off at the end of this. But this energy is going to open you up. This like inherent blind trust is just going to help open things up, and it's going to release a lot. It's going to help you focus on yourself, and it's going to help you bring new life to the world. So we have the Devil card reversed this time, so that's going to release your self-limiting beliefs and restrictions. We have the Magician card, which is like manifestation. It is having everything you need to do stuff. And then we have the Lover's card in reverse, which is focusing inwards. That is like self-love. We're focusing on the relationship inwards with ourselves. Just dropping all of the cards. It's fine. Very emotional. Sounds right for postpartum. Yeah, it's going to be very much a like, I'm going to be fine, trying to put up a mask. And then you just like look at this baby and you're like, how do you not even like know how to use your hands, and you can just like see my soul? You know what I mean? And you just like know. You just like have this connection to me, and it's just amazing. Like that's a vibe. But question is, curious if the situation had to leave maybe a physical place. Hold on. Curious if the situation I have to leave maybe a physical place. I've been thinking about moving. Oh. Dude, that would make sense. Yeah, Ace of Cups. New opportunity for passions. There's just a lot of stress going on. That would make sense of why it's so stressful. Repressed emotions. A lot of emotions are going to come out when I think you move. If you do move. Recovery from financial loss. The Eight of Cups again reversed. There is hesitation to do so. This being in reverse, there's still this like hesitation of like, maybe not. But I do feel like it would be good. There is a lot of hesitation with it. And I don't think it's going to like make or break anything. But it is something that was in the spread. And that Eight of Cups came out again a second time while we were talking about it. But it's reversed. So when it's reversed, it's there's a hesitation. There is a like lacking. But Eight of Cups specifically is, I am abandoning plans that do not serve me, that are weighing me down for something better. And the Five of Pentacles coming in reverse is like financial stressors are being taken off. So I feel like that's kind of where things might lighten up, is more in a financial way. And that will kind of lighten up the emotional sides of things, so you don't feel like so much is being put on you. But doing it in the first place is probably going to be a lot, which again goes into that Hermit card. Yes, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. Any other questions before I move on to Kiki's? I think it's sushi. Sushi. Yeah. Sushi, are you someone that I've read before? I don't think that's this. You just have the same name. I don't think so. Kiki Star. It's me. Hello. Do have a question. All the nicknames. Yes, Kiki Star. Kiki Star, sushis, all of the things. I'm so hungry. I'm so excited. We're going out to eat, I guess, today. My parents were in Mexico, and now they're back in town. Okay, and I moved to be close to my family with my first, but we never felt like this was the best choice. Interesting. Anything from my spirit guides? Oh, it would be cute if I could read your baby's spirit guides. You have a spirit guide of, she's purple, she's female, and she has a like rose with her. Roses usually represent like guarded love for me. That's usually one of my signs and symbols. Purple is usually someone that's very in their head. So purple spirit guides are usually someone that's very like intuitive, but at the same time they kind of get caught up in like daydreams. I feel like she came forward for you when you were like learning to be a mom for the first time. I feel like she helped mom you. She looks like a person. She's in a dress and she has like, she looks like she's from the 20s with like the big like poofy hairstyle with that like flips up. Maybe that's not the 20s. Maybe that's like the 70s. I don't know. Whatever that big like puffy hairstyle that like flips on the ends, that it's really short. It's kind of like, I guess you could say Jimmy Neutron, question mark? No, not Jimmy Neutron. What is that other one? Very Odd Parents? I'm mixing up my childhood shows. Mom. Yes, like her hair. 60s, thank you. Yeah, that's what her hair kind of looks like. A non-cartoon version of Mrs. Turner from Fairly Odd Parents. She's talking about, and this is just very kind of obvious stuff, but I feel like, okay, I feel like there was a lot of like, what is the word? Like childhood trauma that you went through when you were younger, and you may have had some issues with how you were brought up. Like there was like a misunderstanding of like who you were as a kid and what you needed at the time. Your parents did the best they could, but there's still an amount of like trauma that had to be had. I can picture what you're describing with the hair. Thank you. My explanation is interesting, huh? they make me feel like being able to parent is healing a lot in you, and it's making you think about a lot of the stuff of like inner child work, if you will. I guess that's kind of just how that goes, but I feel like there is a lot of like I don't know. I feel like you were an emotional kid, and I feel like your emotions became quiet because you may have needed to like hide those a little bit and like not be too much of a big deal, if that will be dramatic. That's a good word. I feel like there is some like discourse potentially with your mom. I could be wrong. You could tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like that's why you have a feminine guide coming forward talking about it and saying that she is helping to heal those things through the way that you parent, which is also kind of something that just happens. But I feel like that's why she's coming forward. But yes. That resonates deeply. I'm glad. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at my things. I will have to move on to sushi. But let me know if that resonates. If it anything like that. If you have questions, please let me know. But I'm gonna move on to sushi just because I have to leave in like 20 minutes. I don't know. I still want to like, I don't know. Do you have any questions? Let me know if you have questions. I will start sushi, and if you have a question, I will answer it in between things. Thanks so much, Em. No problem. Okay, sushi. I have 2 questions unrelated to each other. Do you feel pulled for me to ask about my ex or about my mother-in-law / dad? I mean, I can pull a card and let you know, but I'm like, I'll read whoever you want me to read. Who is the one that is the most loud, fiery? I feel like they might be a masculine presence. Dense. Someone that makes you feel like you can't be you. That might be all of them. Sounds like the ex. Okay, you want to start with that? I will do whatever you'd like. Could do a little bit of both. Okay, so my question for him is... Okay. I'm having a difficult time getting over him, even though I ended the relationship. I still seem to have strong feelings towards him, though. Oh, I know the feeling. I have struggled with that as well. So I'm curious if he and I had a relationship in our past life. Like, is he part of my soul group? I would say so. The reason I say that, I pulled the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is usually something that you need. He pulled out your inner strength. And I want to say he made things unfair for you so that you would eventually stand up for yourself and say how things actually are. If you'd never met him, that would have never happened. I say that because I got the Strength card reversed, which is like listening inwards, inner strength. And then the Justice card reversed, which is like, it's not fair. So I feel like there's a lot of unfair rules that were like unwritten rules. Yeah. I do feel like there is some sort of like soul, what did you say, like soul cloth connection. The relationship did feel like that. Yeah. Which makes sense of why you feel like this, because what was meant in the relationship was to get you to see your own value, which is a lot of times how relationships work. It just, the manner in which they do that can be very destructive or very constructive. And I feel like in this way it was destructive. But yeah. What they tell me without reading anything is I feel like you guys connected at the place where you were at. You connected maybe potentially on like trauma type things. Because that was where you guys both were. But you started to grow apart when it stopped focusing on those specific trauma type things. Are he and I then considered done in this lifetime? It's an interesting question. 5 of Swords, I would say so. 3 of Cups, I would say so. The cards, that's what they say. 5 of Swords is painful fighting. And then you have 3 of Cups, which is being alone. And not necessarily alone, but like away from him. That is what I get from that. I think right now that's over. I don't think that's going to do much more good if you went back, or if you got back together, or if you became friends. There's still just going to be that misunderstanding. And it is a misunderstanding that, like, triggers your soul, triggers your truth, and triggers who you know you are. It hurts, though. Oh, I know. I literally went through that exact thing, and not only did the guilt eat me alive, but the, like, loss of him, because I told myself, oh, yeah, I'm going to, like, be friends with him. It's going to be fine. I could not get myself to reach out because I just felt like it would make things worse. Like, it was unfair. But I do feel with the cards, what they're saying is something new. That has been, the red thread has been pulled apart, and I feel like you guys are just moving in other directions. But I do have cards for you that I can read very quickly, since if you have another question for the other side of things. But let me know if you have questions while I read things. Ace of Swords is your first card. Ace of Swords is reversed. It's very cloudy right now. It's a bit of a shock. Do we have any time for me to ask about? Yes, that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to read this stuff first and then get into that. So let me get into the rest of your reading. So Ace of Swords reversed. You feel some sort of big shock, big breakthrough that happened, but it has caused a lot of, like, mud to be resurfaced. It caused a lot of, like, cloudedness. And, okay, this is something that you're struggling with. Okay, 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is, like, divine love. This is, like, where you're supposed to be. This is really, really good. This is, like, an amazing, like, connection. It's being blocked by the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is abandoning something for something better. But with it being sideways, like it is there, it's blocking that, like, really good vibe of the 10 Cups. It's sideways because there's a huge hesitation of it. That there's, like, a piece. They want me to say it's like you gave him a piece of yourself and you don't know how to be a person without that. And I don't think you're going to get that back. So, and And that part of you is kind of like the familiarity that is within the relationship itself. It's kind of like when people go through big life changes, there's different aspects in people's life that we define ourselves by. It's like identity crisis type things. So a lot of times, like if when you meet someone new, they're like, who are you dating and what is your job? So when you lose those things, even though they aren't you, you're losing a piece of your identity. So that's where this is kind of giving me, is a like, you feel almost like you're going through a like identity crisis because you're now not the person that's with them. So it's going to create a lot of like questions of, what am I supposed to be doing? Who am I? What does this mean if I'm not in this situation? I don't feel safe. I don't feel like things are like familiar. Because for me, hi Jeremy, for me, the biggest issue with leaving that relationship that I had, that I'm talking about, that relating it to you, hopefully I don't lose my voice, is the familiarity that I had with him. Is the like, I knew him, I knew all these things, so I associated that to a stability in a way, but it was that familiarity that I was missing. And it was the things a lot of times that you lack, where you find that stability in another person. So, next two cards, you have two cards that lead into one another. You have Four of Wands, which is stable, stability. Page of Swords, which is like getting clarity. These cards are more positive. The two that I read before with the paint buckets are something that's going to be very hard. It's going to be a lot of like identity change. You are in the process of trying to figure out how to fit into your life again. The more it goes on, the more you are going to be able to see the clarity, and it's going to give you more information about it. However, there's going to be a fight between how your body feels and how your mind feels, which is what I'm dealing with now. Your body can't tell when it's like, and this is what my therapist told me. I'm trying not to lose my voice. I swear I'm fine. This is what my therapist told me. Your body has like this primitive like way of thinking. So it's like that fight or flight instinct that you have. When something bad happens, a lot of times it will trigger that, and that causes your body to be like hypervigilant almost. So when something traumatic like this happens, you don't feel safe, and it is perpetualized by this feeling in your body. So a lot of times it's going to be a fighting against like, it's going to be fighting against your body that's kind of like stuck in the past and also doesn't live on this like logical idea of things. Like, obviously you're safe. Obviously things are fine. Obviously like breaking up with someone, leaving someone is okay. And you can have all these logical reasons of why it's okay. But your body says, no, we're not safe. So it makes you overthink and question all of those things. So that's kind of like the back and forth of like, we need to heal our minds, but we also need to regulate our bodies and find different ways of doing that. I've been learning about that through EMDR therapy, and I do highly suggest it. It is so weird, I don't know how it works. Yeah, okay. You have two cards that touch. We have the Temperance and then the High Priestess. We'll start with the Temperance card. The Temperance card is a balance and moderation of self. This is going to be finding more balance in who you are. So again, the more clarity that you have, it's going to trigger things in your body, and it's going to be a lot of back and forth, but it will soon like lower and like regulate. And it's going to, okay. So they want me to say Temperance is more the logic side. High Priestess, which is like listening to your intuition and the gut feelings, that's going to be more of the like figuring out the regulation in the body stuff. This is going to be harder than this because it's not logical. Like literally my EMDR therapy, I literally told my therapist last week, I was like, I don't know how you're doing this. Like, you don't even really say anything to me. Like, I just sit here quiet and you have like these bilaterals happening and like, then I'm cured. And she's like, yeah, that's usually the response. And I'm like, okay. So I don't know if like reprocessing therapy might be something that would be beneficial to you as well, but oh my God, it's amazing. Truly, it's fucking amazing. But yeah, there is that sort of thing going on. I do feel stuck in my life right now and I don't know what to do or how to get out of it. It's going to take time. Because you were so wrapped up in that last relationship, you're going to slowly get and rebuild. So these two cards that I read earlier, the Four of Wands is like going to be rebuilding. It's very much fitting in somewhere and it's very much stability. And the Page of Swords is like gaining knowledge. It's gaining more truth-based things. So the more truths that you uncover about this relationship and how it has impacted you will help you to create the foundation again. Because right now you don't feel okay or good or like you're walking on the ground. Hello, Becky, what's going on? It's a lot. And I so relate to it. And it is so horrible. And I understand. That's wild. I may look into it. EMDR therapy. It's amazing. Get on a wait list. Truly. Like, especially if you can get your, like, insurance to cover it. It allows you to reprocess trauma without triggering a, like, horrible response. And it is so weird. It's so weird. Anyways, the last card, you have the Queen of Swords, for this spread at least. The Queen of Swords, it's sideways. That is going to be about redefining who you are. That is you writing your story and figuring out, I don't need this. I am fine on my own. It is going to be like redistributing of value of like, you put a lot of value into the relationship. And I feel like a lot of where the struggle is coming from is maybe putting this person on a pedestal of like, I would do anything for you. You would. 100% you would. But that also meant that you would abandon yourself to do it. And this new person that you're building is not going to do that. This other, the Queen of Swords is usually being unapologetically yourself. When it's sideways, sometimes there is like emotions that come in that are going to sort of impact the like writing of that narrative. OMG, redefining myself, that's going to be so hard. Yeah. No, I get that. It's literally, you are having an identity crisis. And if you're not, again, please let me know. But like, that is like a thing I feel like people don't really talk about with ending like serious relationships, is like a lot of people kind of define themselves by that relationship. I was in a relationship for 13 years. People would just talk to me about that because that's the only thing they knew about me. So when you lose that, it's like, oh, it's like that Grey's Anatomy, like where that little baby had developed a tumor on their heart and it took a second for her heart to restart because her heart needed to learn how to like live without this thing that was there for its entire life. It's that sort of thing. You need to learn how to be on your own. And it doesn't mean you have to be alone. You can be in a relationship. It doesn't really like matter in that sort of sense. But you need to like redistribute where value is. I wish I could speak to my spirit guides like you could so they could guide me, but I'm grateful to have found you at least. No, I appreciate it. And sometimes it doesn't really help because like I talked to Richard about this stuff, but there's only so much that like gets in because I'm unaccepting of like certain things. Like I would not challenge that relationship prior to going to therapy. So he kind of manipulated me to go into therapy and also to find this specific therapist. And legitimately, she like blows my brain up. And then there's this like, it's a process. So you have to like establish a like safe place. And she literally has me go and talk to my spirit guides while I sit there in silence. And then I tell her what they say. And I'm like, oh my God, why are you making him talk to me? He's being mean to me. Anyways, what is your other question? Nicole, I'm very sorry for your loss. I do want to say that they are okay. But do take some time to be good with you. Okay, second question, Sushi. What symbols might my mother-in-law dad be sending to me to show that they're still around? What symbols might my dad show my sister? Oh, interesting. I don't know if I can give you that. We'll see, we'll see. What symbols might my mother-in-law and dad be sending to me to show me? I'm trying to see if they'll tell me through cards. I don't normally answer questions of like signs and symbols because it's very personal, and also my entire way like communication with spirit is through signs and symbols. But do you see a lot of like crows or owls? I think there might be mice in my house. I know that that is like a random thing. But I can hear like scurrying in my ceiling. No crows or owls. Yeah, I don't know if I can do this signs and symbols thing. Solely because of how things work in my head. But let me see. That I've noticed. Haha. Let me see. Let me actually try and like talk to them and not do it through tarot cards. I haven't done something really like this before, so... So for your dad, does he have dark hair? Like very, very dark? And is he maybe like kind of balding on the top, like a receding hairline? Yes. Okay. I feel like he's very... What's the word I want to say? I don't know. He kind of looks Italian to me. Yes. Yeah, probably lols. He has like a more like auburn colored skin, and he has like darker hair. And a little bit more of a receding hairline. He looks like my Italian cousins almost. Does he like his beer? Let me know. I just want to know if I'm talking to him first. I don't normally do the mediumship side of stuff. So I'm like, well, we're not Italian. But does he look Italian? You know what I mean? Like, he has like caramel colored skin. Like, okay, olive colored skin. I don't know how to explain skin colors. He has darker skin and darker hair. Darker complexion. That's the only thing that they were missing from my grocery order is the chips. He did have a favorite beer. Because he's talking about, like... I feel like is like a medium build. He's talking about, like, a beer gut. I don't know if that's inappropriate for me to say. But I'm like, he's a very funny guy. He has a lot of, like... dad jokes, if you will. For lack of a better word. Because this is your father. Yeah. He says that signs and symbols are something like very, very weird and niche, not something normal that a medium would tell you, which doesn't make it easy. He seems like a goofball. Is that true? Like a very goofy guy. So anything that he would send you would be like a joke or like a pun and like very stupidly obvious. And then mother-in-law. We are Chinese, but he does have a darker complexion. Okay, well that makes sense. And I should explain how I see people in my head. They're not like... How I see them in my head is not how I would like see myself. I see like different features and they like come in like pull focus. So they'll tell me, oh, I have dark hair, and they'll just show me this is what my hair looks like. And then they'll be like, okay, this is what my skin looks like, but they'll be kind of like blurry and out of focus. He can be pretty adorably funny. He can be goofy. Yeah, I'm not sure, but he says that the signs and symbols would be very weird. Mother-in-law. I feel like, is she very reserved? She's a bit, what is the word I want to use? She wants to say it's like she's more reserved, so people view her as like kind of like an authority figure. Pretty reserved, quiet, because she's like pulling a memory in my head of like my mom saying, when you're shy, people think you're stuck up, but you're not actually stuck up, you're just reserved and quiet. That's what she's talking about. Does she have like a bob cut? Short hair. It's straight, dark. No? Okay. That's what I got for you. Do you have questions before I end the stream? But she loves perms. Does she have curly hair? Loved perms. Does she have curly hair? Because if that's true, I don't think I'm talking to her. But yeah, sorry about that. Mediumship stuff, I'm like, I don't know about that. She liked to make it wavy. But was it straight before? Dude, I feel like I need a picture now. I'm like, perms? Was it actually curly? I guess I want to know if the two of them are always around me to guide me and my sisters. Your dad wants to say there is a, like, they want to say there is a soul connection with either one of you, and there'll always be this sort of pull. So this pull allows you to be able to, like, even continue to ask him questions or your mother-in-law questions to be able to figure out where you need to go and what the path is. It's very interesting how he's talking about it. I feel like he is very, like, intelligent, like, could have a conversation very intellectually with you about stuff. But he's talking about the thread that people talk about of, like, the connection with people doesn't go away after you die. So he's talking about, like, I am still to this day, because I was your father, connected to you otherwise, helping to support and pull you forward. So the questions that you have about your life path, the questions that you have to ask me, it's almost like our energies like push and pull in one another to help communicate the answer. Does that make sense? Okay, her hair is straight, but she preferred to have curly hair, so she tries to make it curly via tying it in a knot in her braid or stuff when she can't get a perm. Ah, okay, got you. Interesting. Was it short, though? I'm sorry, I'm just so confused. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like sorry, I'm like talking about a whole bunch of different things at once. But your father is like very interesting when he like talks about that. It almost talks about it like how trees talk about stuff like that. But he's like, it's such a deep interpersonal connection that you can never sever something like that. That's why I chose to be your dad. It was long. Okay, maybe that's where the issue is. The long hair is the issue. Long and permed. Yeah, she's more hard to talk to. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you so much for all of the readings. I really appreciate every single one of you. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I have to pick up Riker from work. So I have to go do that. I have to go pick up Riker from work. I have to go to the grocery store and pick up groceries, put our groceries away, and then we are going out to eat with my parents, and I'm so excited because I haven't eaten anything today. I've had a mint today. And I think I might die going to an Italian restaurant. I think I might actually die. Wait, they got a job. Riker got a job. I'm trying to also get a job. They're working at a retail job, and it's like part-time. So we're still doing this. This isn't going away. I promise. I'm trying to also get a job. I don't want to jinx it, but I have an interview on Saturday, and it's from a place I really want to go to, and I'm not going to jinx it, so it's fine. You'll know about it if it happens. But I'm really excited about it. So I have to go pick up Riker. Go check out Patreon. I added a whole bunch of stuff to Patreon, and I'm going to be adding more later. I have a life update that I'm going to post that's really like cringy and what's the word? I guess it's not cringy. It's just very traumatic. I talk about my trauma because I've been talking to Lilith. She kind of manipulated me into talking to her, and now I'm dealing with the repercussions of that. But yeah, I appreciate the support from all of you. I will see you guys later. We hopefully will have a podcast out on Sunday. Otherwise, we will see you next week for Woo Woo Wednesday. So, see ya. Bye.